What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Looking good. I see a whole bunch of people here. RB chatting already. You guys like mysteries and surprises, right? Yeah, me too. Well, to a point. I can get like annoyed. Like, tell me, like what's gonna happen? So I have a very special guest planned for tonight. This is somebody who I've started recently talking to, and he's a good guy. He's a real good guy. No, it's not co-wedding. That was, he comes on when he can. That's not a night for co-wedding. Just a little incense blessing for the safe travels of someone who's going to be joining us in a little while. So originally he was going to be here right on time when we were going to start, but he got called away for something. But he's going to be here probably within the hour or less. So in the meantime, I'm going to entertain you guys with my dulcet speaking voice, haha, and my nice fiery ambiance, and fill you guys in on a lot of stuff. Actually, there's not much to fill you in on right now. Some of you guys follow me on Facebook know that my wife and I are looking to move soon, within the year. Hopefully that'll work out. We got a place, we got a bunch of places we're looking into, so hopefully within another week or two we'll have an idea. So yeah, why don't you guys make bets in the chat of who you think my special guest is going to be tonight, and we'll have a discussion. Johan, my friend, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that, and you know, we will talk again soon too. I want to get you that private conversation that we've got to get about that, the structuring of something important. We'll see if we can make that come out of nowhere. You know, that's always going to be great. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Johan's an awesome guy. True Blue supporter, Patreon for a while. It's going to be awesome. So put your bets in. Put your bets in. Let me see. What do we got? I got a JD. I got an Ordo. I can invite Frankenstein. I don't know. I might have to make Frankenstein. VK. Yeah, right. We'll see. We'll see who it is. Some of you are going to be surprised. Some of you won't be. We'll put it that way. But who's it going to be? Have you even spoken what you're going to be not surprised by? We'll see. Keep putting your guesses down. So how you guys all doing tonight? It's actually a beautiful night here in Long Island, New York. It's in the 70s tonight, which to me is like mwah. And it's like I'm actually kind of ashamed because everything that I've been doing lately, I have been exceptionally home-ridden, you know, because of between COVID and then becoming self-employed. I spend most of my time around my house. I don't really go out as much as I used to. I'm not quite a shut-in, but I'm certainly not as excited to go hiking around as I usually am. But tonight's a beautiful night. I think when I am done with this cast tonight, I think I will probably go for a walk, because I've discovered something really awesome. This is like very mundane, but some of you who have been sort of kicking around the idea, I have always been a magnet for mosquitoes. I must have, you know, I must exhale a lot of carbon dioxide. I must give off the right smell. When I smoked cigarettes, it wasn't as bad, but yeah, I'm not in New York City. I'm in Long Island, Dice. Don't worry, brother. But I am in the shit. I want to get the fuck out of this area. I fucking hate it. I hate New York. I mean, there's things I'll miss about it. Don't get me wrong, but New York's lost its charm, especially where I am. I can give you guys a rough estimate of where I am. If you know where, if you look up Kings Park Insane Asylum, that's a stone's throw from my house. Like I know how to get there. We'll put it that way. Look it up right now, those of you who are on your computers. Look up Kings Park Asylum, Kings Park, New York. It's pretty badass. So that's a stone's throw. Janes Hill, Sweet Hollow Road, Mount Misery. These are all places that I cut my spiritual teeth on. These are all places that I've gone to with regularity to work with spiritual forces and do things. There's an incredibly strong ley line nexus at the top of Janes Hill. So that's actually a place I really want to go. Yeah, bumper to bumper traffic. Oh, you have, seriously, it's not even New York City. It's not even New York City, Mr. Higglesworth. It's not even. I'm out on Long Island, and it's 140 square miles of strip mall. I mean, you get out east, it's not too bad, but it's not great. It's not great. I'm going to be doing it, Elena. I'm going to be, Elena. You damn right. I've got the money saved up because of you beautiful people supporting my work. I worked 2 jobs for over a year, doing this and my day job, and every penny has been going in my savings. Every extra penny has been going in my savings. I don't splurge anymore. And we've got not a huge, but I think a pretty respectable down payment ready to go. And because my work is independent of where I live, it's going to be a lot easier for me to move. So we just got to make sure my wife gets some prosperity before we go and finds a good place. But, we're looking, right now we're aiming in eastern Pennsylvania. That's where we're aiming. But anyway, back to what I was saying before, it's kind of mundane. One of the things that I have discovered, because I've been trying to lose weight in preparation for, the boogaloo or whatever the fuck's going to happen with all of the controversy and bullshit going on in the world right now. I've been on keto, and keto has been the most amazing diet because it's easy as hell for someone like me. I love eating meat, fats, all that stuff. It's just like, I'm good with it. I do occasionally miss a couple of things like rice. I love rice, but I can totally not. I can totally do without it if I have to, if it means I get to lose weight. And I've lost over 30 pounds since I started back in the end of May, and I'm probably losing weight too fast, according to my friend Adam, who's like my friend Adam. I don't know if he wants me to say his last name. He'd probably be cool. Adam Abuchi. The guy's fucking awesome. Unfortunately he's on the West Coast. He's somebody like if he lived out here, we'd be hanging out every day, all day fucking long. He's so cool. We go to the gym together, and so, you guys are asking old ones questions. I will get to that. Remind me if I forget. I want to answer those questions because the Lovecraftian mythos is absolutely, the Cthulhian mythos is absolutely one of my favorite currents of magic to dabble in, really. And I say dabble because it's not my main focus, but it's absolutely one of my favorites to work with. But anyway, so he's telling me, like, try not to lose more than a pound a week. And it turns out that my overweight problem had mostly to do with the fact that I just drank too much soda and had too many carbs. And when I cut carbs out, I'm fucking losing weight like 3 or 4 pounds a week. So I probably gotta start eating a little bit more. He keeps yelling at me like, eat more. You're 2,000 calories, 1,800 calories is not enough. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm like a snake, dude. I'm like a vampire. What do you want? I don't eat a lot of food. I'll have a big meal like once a day, and then I just have a snack later on. He's like, no, eat more. So I'm like, all right. I'll have to do that. But so I'm losing weight pretty quick. Some of you maybe, my goal is to be about 220 again. That's my goal. That was a pretty healthy weight for me when I was growing up. I was muscly and not too skinny, not too fat. I think that's our special guest now. What's he saying? All right, cool. So I'm going to call him any second. So I may mute you guys and put it up to the black screen for a minute, but I want to give you this last little piece of information. The coolest thing, you think losing weight and being healthy is the coolest thing? No, the coolest thing about keto right now is that mosquitoes don't bother me. Like, mosquitoes are just completely don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not getting bit by any mosquitoes anymore. All right, so I will be right back. I'm going to put you guys muted for a minute, and in fact, you're going to lose all sound. You're going to get my empty screen just for a minute. I want to bring him into the call, and don't anybody scream when you see who it is. So just relax. Boop. All right, now everybody should be able to hear us. They should be able to see us. Everything should be working again. Is it Johnny Depp? Oh, hell no. I'm not even... Elon Musk, maybe. That'd be cool. I'd get Musk on. JD, say hi to the family at home.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
All right, so let me just make sure from my sound engineer in the side of the room there that we got sound, but I think we do. Yeah, we do. All right, cool. Good sound. All right, so this is JD Temple. For those of you who don't know, who doesn't know who JD Temple is? Show hands. Who doesn't know who JD Temple is? Yeah, that is a cool statue, dude. I mean, that looks like a Halloween statue that's been turned into evil × 2 or something. And it's fucking
yeah,
cool.
I made the whole thing, man.
Yeah, man, that's fucking cool.
Thank you. Fuck yeah, I love it.
So when JD was a little busy, he had something he was doing, and you know, he's like, I'm gonna be a few minutes. I'm like, I'll keep him entertained. When he comes on, he's got his baby with him, and I'm just like,
yeah, I know. I see yours. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, man. He hasn't been eating. I don't know. He's not. He seems all right. Like I got a little bit. Maybe I've been playing with his cage a little bit, figuring maybe that's the problem, and I thought, well, he's been really like nosy, like he's going around his cage like something's wrong. And so I'm thinking, is it humidity? Is it too much light? Is it too little light? So I've just been trying to screw with it, and I've been giving him extra water now, and hopefully that'll help him out. Maybe he was a little bit dry.
Well, I had to like the box or like this plastic tub that I put her in to feed her. I had to like clean it really, really, really well to make sure that there was like no random odors in it and stuff, and then heat up her food really well. And like once I started doing that, she started eating. But yeah, she did that for like 3 months, and yeah, I mean, I want to say that they can live for like 18 months or something without eating. It's something crazy.
About a year, yeah, about a year. A little
insane.
More. It's insane. I mean, I could probably do that too, but that's just because I'm fat.
It's gonna be like us, and when we shift into like fifth dimensional consciousness, we won't really have to eat anymore.
You right? Like what is that people who just eat ether, right? What is that? It's like they just Etherians, I think they call them.
Yeah, it's like one of that little boy monk or whatever, and he would just like disappear and reappear, and he like never ate. And he was just like always like sitting on the side of like a mountain meditating or some shit.
True. Yeah. I mean, I feel as a skeptical-minded person, even though I do what I do, I feel like they're probably just keto dieters, and they probably just fasting the whole time, living off of ketones, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the brown chakra.
I mean I eat so clean now. It's so freaking awesome. Like, yeah. I love it. And I mean, that's what ayahuasca did for me. You know, it's just, you get so in touch with the earth that all you want to do is nourish yourself with like good food. Like, I refuse to eat anything processed anymore at all, period. Won't do it. Like, I would rather be hungry as fucking starving before I'll do that shit.
On some level, it's a smart idea because of all the poisons that they put in everything nowadays. Like, just eat around the edges of the supermarket. You're better off.
Yeah, that's what I do, man. I eat beans. I do eat some rice, but mostly like black beans, pinto beans, lentils, cabbage, broccoli, a lot of celery, cucumbers, squash, sprouts, things like that, green beans, like everything fresh, and a lot of curry. I mean, I eat curry with like every freaking meal, and it's amazing.
There's certain things, like, I don't know, I'm simple. I'm like this snake here. You just give me a slab of fatty meat and a soda. I know it's horrible, but like just like even the diet sodas, whatever, something like that, and that's it, and I'm good.
I drink the LaCroix. I'm drinking I don't even know how you say this, a pastic Q? I don't know, it's watermelon.
Pastique, maybe?
Pastique. Drinking that pastique, son.
Is it una la francais? I can't speak
French. It is una la francais. It's fucking delicious, too. It's exotic, just like those French women are.
Thank you, Rokas.
And just like Rouse said, too, no fat, baby. No fat, no sex. Like, so I'm on like day like 23 or 4 or some shit, holding it down. Holding that shit down, son.
Somebody give me a levels check. Are we about equal levels now? I put us back down to closer levels because I don't monitor, which I should, but it's like another step that I don't do. So you guys let me know if you can hear us better a little bit. I was getting a complaint or two.
Your audio always sounds so good. Sounds like a radio show.
You know, that's the thing. Like, but then I have to adjust the levels, and if I don't, sometimes it's different for some reason. Maybe like I have my snake over it. Maybe that's what's doing it. Yeah.
Oh, do you have a lavalier mic on?
Yeah, everybody's saying more. So you're saying put more Rokas? Who, me or JD? Probably me, right? They'll turn me up.
I can bring mine over closer to me too.
So I think you're good. I hear you really good.
You can hear me good? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you really good. If I hear you good, they hear you good because I am monitoring you. So it's really what they hear from me. It may just be that the mic is not picking up. Yeah, people are saying I'm quiet. Uh-oh. It's better? A little bit louder? I can try to go a little louder.
Oh, I'm loud. I can turn mine down too.
No. It's probably better if I just make mine go up because I can trick it. All right, we'll put it like I got it at like 2, so we'll try 2 at like plus 2.
To 11, man. You got to put it to 11.
Yeah, right. Let's blow their eardrums out. Get out your guitar. I don't play, but I can sing.
Hell yeah.
He's being really calm today. Usually he's all like he wants to get away. He must like you. So all right, let's get into some spiritual conversations. Let's talk magic and the universe and all. I mean, all right. Yeah. Just behind the scenes, guys, like last night was the first time I ever spoke to JD in my life. And yeah, we can all see the chat now, Lucas. I don't know if you can see it from where he's sitting, but we can all see it.
Yeah, I can see it kind of. It's small, but I can kind of see it, yeah.
Yeah, so last night was the first time we ever really talked, and like it was another one of those meeting of the minds. I was like, holy shit, another one for the tribe that I belong to. Where have you guys been in my whole life? What the hell? Like, you know, it's fucking awesome, man. And I really had a great time talking to you. We talked like me and EA talk. It was a good like 5-hour, 6-hour total.
Yeah, it was awesome, yeah.
You know, dude. And you did a ritual for me last night. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that.
Talk about it whatever you want. Absolutely, man. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I slept for about 2 hours after we talked, and then I got up and did those, and I was up and till 5 or 6 a.m. doing that shit.
Oh yeah. So you did the ritual of deification by that's J.S. Garrett's original creation, and it was quite an interesting experience, because I've been feeling a little bit of an energy blockage lately. As everyone probably knows, I'm open about talking about that. It's been kind of, with the world as it is, with all the drama where it is, there's a lot of instability in life, and so it's been difficult for me to really focus on my connections. But last night you did that right for me. And, I did what you said. I went into meditation because I couldn't really sleep at the time because I am like a vampire, guys. Most of you know I don't sleep during the night very well. So he's like, just go into meditation. I'm like, all right, because I can do that. And I went into a deep trance, and it was a trip. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. I always have a good trip when I go on an astral meditation like that, but that was interesting, and there was definitely a few correlations. It was definitely some things happened that was, correlated with what you were doing a few times. Like I think I got pulled in and then left and then came back is what I think happened. I think you had me, lost me, had me again, and then there was that abrupt ending. So I don't know if you want to tell your side of the story before I tell mine, or if we should go into any more deep detail than that, but it definitely, I felt that a little bit of that release of the tension, that feeling of like that blockage of being uninterested and unable to focus. Today I was able to not even barely watch videos about world events, and I just kept my nose into what I wanted to pay attention to a little bit better. Not perfect, but it was better. You know what I mean? Like I felt it better. And a lot of other things shifted around, like some things that I've been kind of dragging my feet on a little bit, like house hunting, that took off today a little bit, and it's all feeling better. It's all feeling better. So, so yeah, tell them a little bit about what you did, man. Tell them what happened, because there was that funny way it ended, man. That was.
Yeah, dude. Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. So when I did yours first. And you got one of the big, huge roosters. I had 2 roosters, and you got one of those, and JS got one of those. I did it for him too. I did it for his wife Barbie, and then I did it for my tattoo artist, and then I did it for another friend of mine as well. Awesome. And I did yours first, and when I began the conjuration, it took, it usually takes a little while, especially a powerful sorcerer like yourself, it is definitely more difficult to evoke you than it would be for other people. It takes a little bit longer, and
You're buffering a little bit, so you may have to rewind a little bit. It takes a little bit longer to get. We'll wait till you kick back in. Could be my internet. All right, hold on.
So,
okay, you're almost back.
Like
almost back. We lost you when you said a little harder to get a hold of, and I think it's been about a good 30 seconds you were gone.
Okay, am I back now?
I feel like you're back good now. Yeah, you look like you're back good.
Okay.
Yep, you're good.
So when you did show up, you came with like legions of fucking spirits and like armies of fucking spirits, and they were like whipping the wind and like circling the fucking circle and like surrounding everything. Especially like when they arrived first, and then you came, and when I felt it's more powerful than anything you evoke them. Like it's really it's hardcore as fuck. Like you feel it like in your solar plexus, like so, like my whole body.
Just to let you know, JD, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're buffering again. So I don't know if we should be able to be. I don't know if we should be talking about this. It seems like whenever you start putting the details out there, it just starts chattering and cutting out, and people can't hear us. So I don't know, man. I don't know about that. That's unusual. Like usually it only happens like once. It's happening a whole bunch tonight. Am I stuttering on your end too? Yeah, it looks like I'm stuttering on his end too. Skype is Bill Gates technology. You got that right. Yeah. And now he's changing. He's changing res. He must be on wireless. That's what it is. I'll bet you peanuts to potatoes that he's on wireless. Because whenever they change res like that, yeah, they fix him right up.
I think no, I'm frozen.
Okay, maybe. You're back now. Are you on? Are you using wireless in your house?
Yeah, I am, and I have full bars. I don't know what the hell's up.
It's just a latency thing. It's not even the bars. It's fine. Hey, sweetie, would you mind taking Mr. Bubbles over here?
Is that his name, Mr. Bubbles?
No, it's actually Sneck Plissken.
Oh, cool.
From Escape New York. Yeah, I had a video. I took it down just because it was like there was no point anymore. But I had a video introducing him, and I actually had. He's getting heavy. It was video on from the movie, and whenever I'd say his name, Sneck Plissken, Snake Plissken would pop on and go, "Call me Snake." It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So I figured it was a good ignoble name for him.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Give him the light so he's warm, and we'll turn it off later because it's. Thank you, honeydew.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie. The beautiful Camilla T. Thorne, T. Thorne, everybody. Yeah, I think you probably saw her arm. That's probably as much as you're going to see tonight. Yeah, man. All right, so let's try this again. Hopefully we'll try it one more time. And if the spirits interfere again, we know we're not supposed to discuss Fight Club, right? Because that's So I noticed when you sent me the video, like you were circling the fire. That's probably part of what you're supposed to do. But it's definitely intense watching it. And one of the things that I like, the intensity with which you call, and I'm like, oh, that's good intensity. It's not like, DH, come please. I felt like when I was watching it, I felt like a child, and you were a father saying, DH Thorne, come now. And I'm like, whoa, like that's cool. Like it was different. You know what I mean? It wasn't disrespectful at all, but it was definitely like, I have the authority to call and call upon you. And of course, it took me a little bit, right? Because I was kind of like, I'm floating back and forth between, I started by trying to visualize with an empty mind state, meditative state. What I do when I get into something like this, and I tried to create an ambiance in my own little area here. I didn't do it in my bedroom because my wife was sleeping. So this is like my alternate ritual area. It's my computer, and I have all this stuff here. And it's kind of, it's how I do it. So I set up a little ambiance here in the area, and what I did was I used the same incense you said you were going to use, and I set up what I call like a torch wick candle, which is like I take a nice glob of paper towel or cloth, and I melt a lot of wax onto it, and I put it on top of like a couple of tea lights or something, and that burns like a good, like it looks like a torch, you know, it burns really good, and it's a high flame, and it'll consume like a tea light in like 40 minutes, half an hour, you know, it doesn't take long. Like completely consume it till it's gone in ash. It's really good. So I set this all up so I had like my own like bonfire going, and then in front of me on my computer screen, I put like a fireplace, like I got in the background for the audio right now. I put a fireplace thing, so I had that flickering, I had this light flickering like I got now. I just, you know, I did that, and I leaned back in my chair, I got into the zone and gazed at the fire and just, you know, don't move a muscle, let the astral, you know, out of body begin. And if you feel a tickle on your nose, don't scratch it, let that shit tickle. Whatever you do, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, unless you know you got to do it because you're going to get hurt, like a, you know, a bee's going to sting you or something, let it happen. Don't just ignore it, and you'll start feeling numb all over. You start feeling numb everywhere, and you'll be like a brain in a jar. It's the best way I can describe it. You feel like a brain in a jar because you're still aware a little bit of what's going on to your body, but you don't care anymore. Like it's you know, your brain's putting out those sleep chemicals, but your brain's still awake. The other thing I'd suggest doing is put the tongue to the roof of your mouth so your kundalini and your, you know, all that flows smoothly. But so I did that, and I had no idea what stage you were on. I don't know if I started before you, and maybe that's why I showed up and then came back. Like maybe when I first got there, maybe you were still setting up a little bit. When I got there in my mind's eye, it was obviously different than what it probably, you know, what it definitely would have looked like than because I didn't see the triangle on the ground. I didn't see any of that. I imagined just like it is in your other videos where you show that same fire. So I used that as the seed, and then I started circling around. I started seeing things. You said there is a white house in the general direction where I told you I thought I saw it, which I did see, like a white house. I saw some, like, not woods, but like some trees, like a little cospa trees, nothing big.
Yeah.
And but I didn't see the ground, and I definitely saw like some differences. Like so, I'm seeing the symbols of what's going on, not the literal truth of what's going on, right? And I was there, and then I felt pulled away. Like I felt like, what did I say? I think I wrote it all down for you so I wouldn't forget, you know, and I did forget. But I was there with you, and then the next thing I know, I was by like a bonfire by the water somewhere, you know, like on the edge of the ocean or something, almost like where I live. And I was there, and I was gazing into that bonfire, and I saw something in the bonfire that I wanted, and I reached in with, I believe, my left hand. I reached in with my left hand, and I grabbed what was, to me, looked like a chicken head that was burning, you know, just the head, and it was on fire, and I'm like, oh shit. And as I'm watching it burning, like the fire is spreading to my body, but I don't care because I'm not a body right now. I'm a spirit form. I'm watching this burning me, and then Balaam shows up like next to me, and I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I'm not really here, but you are here, so you see me. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? Something to that effect. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You know, you need me to be here or something like that, so I'm here. And then I look in my hand, I see that chicken head, just the flame starts to consume my arm, my whole body very quickly, like almost like flash paper. It's just like whoosh. And it turns to ash like almost immediately, like orange cinders, and then a little gust of wind comes and I'm poofed gone. But my awareness is still there. My body's gone. My whole conception of body is gone. And I feel like I don't know if I feel like I've taken something into me, or I've just been, you know, maybe that bodily ego, because that problem that I've been having has been an ego issue. It's been an embodied, like I told you, it's a grounded out state. Like you've been feeling grounded out. It's this, you're grounded out, like, fuck, I can't, it's hard to focus, right? Yep. So I think maybe it burned away some of that ego ground out effect. And then next thing I did was I felt like I was like punted like a football, like a mile or two in the air. And I was hurtling towards the heavens. Like I go past the clouds, I see the stars, like things are coming at me. And I just suddenly stopped, like I hit a brick wall. And I just felt like, what the fuck? And I sort of recognized this from like when I had that experience I told you about with the dissolution moment. I kind of stop at that point, and I look back, and Balaam's voice comes, you know, why don't you go? What's the matter? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not ready. I started seeing images of my wife sleeping in bed, looking peaceful and beautiful, and drool coming out of her mouth. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more again. And it's like, all in due time was what they said. Next thing I know, I see your hand like reaching through a wall of fire. Very intense. Like you're reaching through a wall of fire. I feel like you're holding something in your hand. You're reaching through, and I try to reach out and grab your hand, and I can't quite get your hand. Like I can't quite get it. And I get a hold of it like once or twice. Not quite. And then next thing I know, poof, I'm in the same space as you again. And this time I'm trying to get your attention hardcore, because I tried before, but I'm really, like, now I put my hand on your shoulder and I visualize astral claws digging into you, squeezing your shoulder like, I'm here, motherfucker, feel me.
Oh, I knew you were there. I could feel it. My whole body was, like, trembling.
Yeah, so, there was more to it. There's more to the meditation, of course. Like, once the fucked up thing is pretty much to the minute that you stopped is when my little altar fire went out and the last bit of my own technique of pulling energy into myself was done. Because I use somewhat vampiric technique for that. And it's, I exhale fully and I visualize what's happening. I visualize the energy entering whichever chakra I want it to go through. I exhale fully and hold it for as long as I can. Like, for as long as necessary or as long as I can. Depends on what's going on. And I'm like, I'm going to hold it until that fire's out, and then I'm going to inhale the last of that energy through that solar plexus chakra. And sure enough, like the fire goes out, like almost like on command, like a good 30 seconds later, and I just pull it in, and I'm like, all right, he's got to be done right now. There's no way he's still going. And I texted you, or I sent you an email, whatever. Like, you messaged me like I'm all done because I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm like, it's no more than, you couldn't have been done more than 5 minutes, because that's when I was done. So it had to be like real close in timing. It had to be real close. But the funny thing was how it ended, right? Like, the funny thing was, like, in a way, like, that was a botched, not botched, but I mean, in a way, it was almost a botched ritual because, like, of what happened, right? Like,
I
what
was
happened?
trying not to let her ruin it, man. Oh my God. Like, I had just made the sacrifice, and I'm, like, holding it over the fire. The blood is dripping into the flames, and I start hearing, hello.
Yep.
Hello. Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm just like ignoring her, like, so this lady was driving down the road and she pulls over on the side. There's like this little lane that goes to these other little houses over here. It's like a long driveway, but it's actually like a road. It's a gravel road. And she stops her car, and she got out of her car and like started walking over towards my yard, and she's like saying, hello, are you okay? And I'm just like, I'm just going to ignore this lady. I have a chicken that I just sacrificed that I'm holding over the fire right now. I'm just going to act like this is not happening, and she's not going to get my attention. But she would not stop.
Do you think she saw the chicken? I don't think she saw the chicken.
I don't think she could see it now.
Yeah.
I went back over to the altar, and I dismissed you. And so I'm just kind of standing there, and the ritual had basically ended, I think. I think I still had to do a little few things to wrap it up. But she just kept going, are you okay? Are you all right? And then I was finally like, yes, I'm fine. And this, and she's like,
you were real nice to her, dude. You're like, are you okay? Like, you were so sweet. I'm like, begone, wench, before I curse the 17th generation of your offspring. I would have been like fucking furious.
She said, it looks like the front of your entire house is on fire. And she's like, I thought your house was burning down. And she said, and I was like, no, it's just a campfire. Everything is fine. And she was like, okay, well, I work for the Department of Defense, and there's cameras everywhere. And some kind of shit.
That's probably more of a warning to you, like, there's cameras everywhere, you better not be doing stuff that's gonna, maybe that's what she meant.
Maybe, I don't know what she meant, but what, her whole thing was, is that, to her, it looked like driving by, she thought my house was like, the whole front of my house was on fire.
Yep.
And that's really crazy, right?
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I've had bigger fires than that, like, in my house.
It was just like a campfire, but like to her, she really literally thought my house was burning down. And, I was just like, holy shit,
It's weird because on the one hand, it's like, don't be nosy. On the other hand, it's like, well, thank you for your consideration at the same time.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But so, I really think she must have been like on drugs or some
shit. Maybe a little. Yeah, maybe a little.
Yeah.
See, that's why I can't wait to move. Like, I could probably get away with it here, especially if my in-laws are asleep and stuff. But I want to go somewhere where, like, dude, I can make my big bonfire in the back, not give a fuck if people see me.
Yeah, I want to be able to walk outside naked and just take a leak, like, as soon as I walk out, just like wherever I want.
Just
like,
territory, yeah, just
tree, just like
mark that territory.
Ground, like piss all over myself or whatever, and not give a shit. You know, not have all this noise. You know, that's the next place I move. It's going to be something like what you're looking for. You know, that's what I want, and I think people like you and I, like, that's what we need. I mean, we need that.
With ready access to maybe civilization for sushi every now and then, but like, exactly.
Just get a drive to civilization and get some sushi. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that'd be heaven, wouldn't it? We've got a couple places picked out, like in the Poconos areas. We're gonna check out this weekend. So not weekend. By the end of the month, we'll say. You know, in case anybody wants to try to jinx us, that's your chance. But you know, we'll see what we find. You know, it's gonna happen one way or the other. We got to get out of here. I don't want to spend another year here. It's like I told my wife a year or so ago. I said I don't want to die here under it. Like, let me. You know, you can bury me here because I like the cemetery that overlooks the place of my birth, literally. But I don't want to die here. Like, you can bury me there, but you're gonna have to take my ashes or something there, because I'm not dying here. I'm dying anywhere but here. I don't want to die here. So
I want to move to Orlando really badly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. My friend was in that part of Florida. He hated it. But he would hate it. He wasn't really into that kind of thing. I think he said it was boring. It was a little too country for him. It wasn't really what he wanted. But I mean, I can't wait. I mean,
I want to be near Soul Quest because I want to volunteer there on the weekend.
Sure, yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm a part of that community, and I actually just met an amazing woman that fucking lives in Orlando. That's going to go to Soul Quest with me next weekend, and like, it's just like, no way. Like, what are the freaking chances of that?
Yeah, well, it's a message. You know? It's a message from space from now.
Oh man, the universe is like blessing me right now so much that I'm just like, I can't even take it. I'm just like, what the? This is fucking... Enjoy
it while you can, man. You know?
Oh, I will, man. I'm definitely going to every fucking second of it.
All right, let me get to a couple. So I had a super chat here. Somebody Arachnos says, I just want to thank you both. I think you said me, but I want to thank you guys for what you're doing. I thank you, Arachnos. I really appreciate that. That comes in handy. It makes it easier for me to, you know, sooner or later I'll be able to upgrade some of these like flubby kinds of pieces of equipment that I got going on here that I got to work on. Some people were asking questions, but there's one gentleman in particular on Facebook, if you're still watching, who was watching, you know, he messaged me on Facebook and says, I took off today so that I could actually watch your stream. And I said, you get the number one, you get priority, first question, you get the juiciest question. Of course, it's got to be a fair question. You get the juiciest, most in-depth first question. So if you're still here, I'm going to scroll up and see, because I don't know if you asked one yet or not, but if you have one, if you want to comment read aloud, just put it in caps like I told you, and you will be number one, you know, a number one that I get to. So let me scroll down. So yeah, so I mean, you and I were talking a lot, and we definitely have a lot in common in our plans for the future. You know, the things we want to do, the ways that we like to do, what we like to handle ourselves, even in the community, and what we like to focus on, right? I mean, it's not like we're two different people. In some ways, that's a bad thing, you know. But we definitely have some different practices. So it was a good conversation we had that night, man. It was really good.
Oh, it was beautiful, dude. Like, you're an amazing person all around, an amazing sorcerer, but just a hell of a stand-up guy. And I always knew that, you know, but I got to get that confirmation in talking to you last night, and that's why I felt too. I was like, God damn, where you been all my life, motherfucker?
Yeah. Like, that's another thing that I didn't tell you. I mean, I told you, but during that ritual, like, maybe this is your own intention. I don't know where the hell, but I felt this strong urge, like, we got to hang out in person sometime.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You know, you're only like 10 hours away, so it's not as bad, you know, for us to meet. Like, EA and I are probably going to hang out at some point, but it's a lot easier with you, dude. Like, you and we can even meet.
Oh, definitely. We're East Coast, baby. All the way.
Yep. You know, especially in the wintertime, coming down there would be fun. You know, summertime coming up here, whatever. So, yeah, especially if I get that place in Pennsylvania, you'll probably be like, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could be there in 4 hours, dude.
Right? Yeah. Well, Pennsylvania, but Eastern Pennsylvania, I don't know. It might be
5 hours or whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever it is.
It might be a little more. It might be a little. Because we went down to the Blue Ridge. That is further, I guess, because you got to cut through West Virginia to get there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we'll definitely have to hang out. All right, let's see. Did that guy respond? Let me see. Where are you, my friend? I don't see your question. Oh no. You must be just having so much fun watching. I don't see you. I waited a little bit. I think I know his name. He might not. I think it's Jasonius Arcanum. Yeah. Jasonius, if you still have that main question, feel free. But in the meantime, we're going to go to somebody else's question then, because just because I don't have one answer for you. So, people have been talking a lot tonight about Lovecraftian Cthulhu mythos stuff tonight, dude. It's been like, I'm watching the chat scroll by, and every other person's like, "Where's Cthulhu? What do you think Cthulhu is? What do you think about this current?" And I have a lot to say about that. I don't know if you've ever delved in that current much. I don't know if that's your cup of tea or not. But
a little bit. I mean, it was something that I didn't really mean to delve into, but it just kind of showed up. I definitely think that it's very real and very powerful, for sure. And it, I wouldn't doubt that these like great old ones have something to do with the dimensional shift that we're going to be experiencing, and that we're already
100%. Yeah. Well, they play the long game of long games. Like if the other spirits and gods play the long game because they don't have time, these seem to play like just games with far distant ideas. That's when I had worked with Azazel for that 30-day focus with him back last year, and I asked him, what do you and the others with you think of these beings in Nyarlathotep and all these? He's like, it was hard to explain, but it was kind of like they didn't have an opinion. It was that they're not a threat to you per se, but they're alien even to us. Like we don't even they have an alien energy to them that is not something that is the same. It is like we were talking about. I think we talked about this last night. That a lot of the times, like Lovecraft probably connected to a human like a human understandable archetype, right? The archetype of mysteriousness. And don't forget, when Lovecraft was doing what he was doing, the sciences were finally realizing that humanity was as insignificant as could be. We were finally realizing how big the universe was, and within 20 or 30 years of Lovecraft's writing, we realized even our galaxy was only a pinprick in a much more gigantic, enormous universe. So this feeling of smallness and insignificance of human concern definitely compels this current of Lovecraft. It's definitely there. That's why it's such an alien feel. It's like you can't reason with it. It's not there to hurt you. It's like being an insect and you're in the middle of a traffic jam of elephants that are stomping around, and you just hopefully you don't get stepped on. And working with them is definitely in the direction of madness for me.
Yeah.
Even when you're working with like Nyarlathotep, which is kind of like easier to work with, it's all in the direction of madness. It's like it doesn't make sense. It's just a presence of dread and sinister madness, and you will either be put off by that and rejected by it, is how I see it, or you will be embraced by it and you will relish it. You will go, ooh, this is what I really am about inside. I really want to be. This is the current I want to be with, and it's something about it. That's what it was for me. I wasn't afraid of it at all. And once I felt that call, the third night of initiation with Nyarlathotep in particular, I went for a drive to the seashore, which is like 2 minutes from here, and I ended up going down to this beach. And the whole way going down there, I was in this trance of trances. It was like, I don't know if, like, cause I don't know how much you can do when you're in a deep gazing trance and like possessed feeling. I'm driving a car down a fucking road, cars passing me, and I go past a police precinct, and I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking, because I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, I'm gonna be on the news because these motherfuckers are gonna pull me over, and I'm gonna look like I'm on some kind of drugs. I'm not, but I'm gonna look like I'm on some kind, and I'm probably gonna like tear somebody's throat out, get shot 7 times, and die in the ocean or some kind of crazy shit. Like, what the hell's wrong with me? That's the feeling I had. It was almost cathartic. Like I was getting rid of like maybe the tension of trying to be normal for so many years, maybe, and I was like letting this part of me back out again. Maybe that's how I'm interpreting it now.
Maybe it's like, we have these like primal human instincts, and maybe that was like an aspect of like primal extraterrestrial instinct, and like maybe it's like people that are hybrids, if you will, or have some kind of connections to certain kind of extraterrestrials that like that kind of current would resonate with you more, or something of that nature. I don't know. I've always felt that like there's a connection to like those great old ones and like mirrors, that they come through mirrors and shit.
Yeah, definitely. You know, to you know, the credit of the people who created the system, you know, that I was working with, they spoke very highly of using an old mirror, and that's exactly what I used it was a very important ritual tool. I use it for everything else now. It's not just for that current, but I had found an ancient mirror that's over 150 years old, I guess.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I bought it for like $80. I got the story behind that is ridiculous. It was my wife and I was like, we got to find an antique mirror. I don't have a lot of money to spend. I got like 100, some kind of antique.
It's 50. Like heavy as shit.
Yeah, I'm like, just anything that looks cool, right? And it's got to be old. It's got to be worn. It's got to look like a lot of old ladies did their makeup in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we're going through this nearby town. We're going for lunch, and there's an antique store that's going out of business, I guess. They're moving to another location. We're like, let's check this one out. Because for those of you who haven't watched this before, antique stores are the best place to get all your magical implements, 99% of them. Like, don't bother buying off of Amazon unless it's absolutely necessary, because you can't get it. Candles, obviously, buy on Amazon, whatever you get for cheap. But your ritual bowls, your ornaments, your idols, your boxes to put your familiars in, all that, antique store, 100%. So we go there. We're walking in, and on the display in the front, there's this cool looking mirror that looked like 1800s. You know, like so like. Give or take 100, 150 years old, I was estimating, just walking past it. And I'm like, ooh, if I can afford that one, I think I'm going to take that one. And we go in and we look around the place, and you know, I work up to talking to the people, and you know, a bunch of old ladies are sitting around sorting jewelry, and I'm interested in that one behind there. You know, how much is it? Oh, well, the owner's not here yet. I'm like, oh, okay, well, because when will she be back? I'm like, this is stupid. I want to buy it. Like, what are you doing to me? Like, all right, you know, we can come back in a little bit. Like, how much is it, would you say? I don't know. Let me go see. So they go and they look behind it, and they look at the tag. She turns around, $100. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, let me go get some cash, and we'll buy it in a minute. So we go, we come back. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to wait on it. Let me do it, even if it does cost more on credit, because I don't know what we can do. Let's go back and just buy it, like, flat out, and just buy it, even if it's just a few dollars more, because I know it's more. I know it's more than that. So I go right back in. The owner must have walked in when my back was turned. So she's in there. I'm like, I'm going to buy it after all, you know. And the owner's like, okay, let's see what you wanted. She picks it up. She's like, how much did you quote him? And I'm like, you know, 100. They're like, yeah, 100. She's like, this is $280. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I can't really afford that, you know. She's like, no, I'm going to charge you 100 because they quoted you. She was like, all mad. They quoted you 100. You could call a cop on me if I don't charge you what they quoted you. I'm like, you know, I'm willing to give you half. You know, I'm willing to split the difference with you at least because you're being cool about it. She's like, no, 100's good. 100's good. And we bought another mirror just on top of that because of it, fucking for the hell of it. So, you know, that's how you know. Like, the best spiritual tools come to you somehow. They're never just a thing that you buy. You know, you can buy a ritual mat and stuff because it's hard to make those. I get it, you know. But, you know, if you've got like an old curtain, right? Like, let's say you got like an old ass black curtain from something. Don't buy yards of fabric. Now, I don't have one, but that's what I would do. I would get an old ass curtain from, like, you know, my grandmother's, you know, linen closet, and
it's expensive. You
know, paint it on there. You know what I mean? And that's what I would do. So. We got people arguing about EA in the comments below. You know, I know some people, you guys got shit to say about EA, but since I've been talking to him, none of the things you're saying match up to what you guys are talking about now. I appreciate you guys liking me and everything, so I'm not trying to fight with you about it. But, you know, I consider him my friend, and so far he has been as honorable and noble to me as anybody. You know, more so than a lot of the people that I started with. We'll put it that way. So nothing but love for EA. The guy has, you know, it's an interesting story about how we got to talking. And I was on guard, in all honesty, because of his reputation, all right? Because he's a famous guy, he's a big name, and, you know, he's successful, and so he's going to have people who think things about him. Maybe you guys had a different experience with him. I can't, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong, but I'm here to tell you my experiences so far have been 100% on the level. And I can tell you, if it was all about money, then I've made off a lot better than he has. Let me be clear with you. If it was all about money with him, I've never paid a dime to him. And if anything, he's boosted my reputation. And he's been so generous with me that, trust me. If you trust me about anything, on a personal level, the guy's a good guy.
He's a genuine person and a hell of a sorcerer. He's the real, genuine article all the way around, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, Elena, I'm not here to be judge and jury for the two of you guys. I really don't know what happened between the two of you, and it's not my business. I don't play those games. If people hate each other and it doesn't involve me and my problems, I don't generally jump into things. So I don't know what's going on between the two of you. It's not my deal. But if people lose respect for me over it, I apologize. I'm not going to apologize. Fuck you. If you lose respect for me over who I associate with, fuck you. That's not how the real world works, right? Well, that's how a lot of babies want it to work these days, but that's not how it works for me. I try to judge people based on my experiences with them, not who they hang out with, none of that shit. Remember, I grew up in the hood, right? It takes a lot for me to go, that person sucks, okay?
Well, there's plenty of people that say shit about me and say shit about you too, for sure. This is always going to be this is always going to be the case. And, I've had to learn just to, take it on the chin and fucking just keep on getting it and not worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it get me down. And, it is what it is. And usually, most of the time, people will come around.
Jasonius, I see that you said that you I didn't see it either, what you had said. Do me a favor. I'm going to pop open Facebook. I think you know who I am on Facebook. So feel free to pop me that question in private, because I feel honored that you took off. I feel freaking honored. So, send me a private message on Facebook. I have it open right now. So as soon as I get the message from you, I will respond to that question. I do feel like, you haven't paid me a dime, but it was touching to me when you said, I took off tonight so I could watch this. So I want to make sure that you get that little bit that's for you. Yeah, Lucas, I agree with you 100%. There's no more fucking room for petty bullshit in our community. It's still going to happen, though.
Yeah.
But there's no more room for it. It's not. We're still a little baby movement, right? Compared to, Satanism's huge, but I don't consider myself strictly a Satanist. I believe that I'm in that spectrum of what mainstream society would call a Satanist, but I'm not. I'm more of a mystic, a dark mystic, sort of a dark pagan, which is an interesting term, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Well, Ordo, I didn't bring outside drama in. If you're talking about me, I'm just responding to what people are talking about because it's something to talk about, So let's not start fighting with each other over stuff.
It's especially in today's world that we live in, we got to make these changes, and we've got to put our differences aside. We've got cooperation with each other, and then too, I think that's just going to change the worldview as how people see black magicians as a whole, and I think that's really important because, like you were saying in our conversation last night, most of us are deeply spiritual people, and that is not how we're labeled usually, though. People just think we're these vile manipulators or these just total pieces of shit, and that we don't have a spiritual bone in our body at all, and that's not the case whatsoever.
I mean, there are people like that out there.
Well,
one message more to the chat, guys. I'm not taking sides. I think you both have valid things to say, Ordo, Elena. So you guys are okay in my book. Don't feel like I'm coming down on you, but please, if you're gonna have a conversation, do it outside of here if you don't mind. Just because I don't want it. I want it to be about what the point is. So if you guys are blocked, block each other. And just fucking chill and hang out because I want to hear what you have to say about magic and stuff. I don't want to give a fuck about the petty little drama bullshit. And you guys have been in my chat for a while. You guys have always been respectful. So that's all I'm going to say. Try to let's maintain that. Let's maintain low tones, as the as the Coneheads would say. I appreciate you both, so please understand. Yeah. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Ordo. I appreciate you both. Thank you so much for that. So anyway, it's okay, guys. I don't mind talking about drama to a point. If I can clear the name of somebody by my experience, I will do so. I don't mind sticking up for people I've had good experiences with. If I got a bad experience from co-editing, you better believe that I would be like, yo, this motherfucker stiffed me, he treated me like shit. I mean, I cut him some slack if it was a reasonable mistake, obviously, but if I felt, even for a minute, that the guy was putting me through the ringer, after 30-something hours of talking to the guy, somebody like me who can read a person usually in the first 2 minutes and see right through them, it's not a high probability that he got me. That's all I'm going to say. It's not high. It's like 0.1% chance that he got me, right? So if you trust me, maybe he'll burn you. Maybe he has burned you. I don't know, but he ain't burning me. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. He's been a saint to me.
That if anything like that happened, it wasn't by design. It was just one of those things that happened.
Yeah, I mean, we're some of us are in very high demand. Some of us are in demand. It's hard for me with my 2,000 some odd subs and my Facebook presence and my books and all that stuff. It's hard for me to respond anymore to every question. I actually, when I first got started, I went out of my way to respond to every comment, every like, everything. And I went in there and I really tried. But now it's like people ask good questions. I just don't have the time to answer them anymore. And believe me, I'm not like on my high horse like I'm better than all you and won't answer a question. It's just how do you answer a crowd? Like how do you do that? It's you guys would fill up a small gymnasium or something now, right? Like it's tough on a busy night. So yeah, all right. So let's move on a little bit. Let's move back to the Cthulhu question because that's a little bit more interesting, isn't it? Dice makes a good point. Everybody sobs if you're a medium and they love you, but God forbid you say you're a magician. And yeah, especially a magician for hire, right? That's always like, oh no, the cardinal sin. I'm a magician for hire. I will do ritual work for people. Yeah. Oh, Jasonius sent me his question. Let me see. JD, keep us entertained. I'll be right.
Okay.
It works for me, dude. That's great.
Yeah. I'll just do some of this shit a little bit. I'll do a little dance for a minute. I'll put some Florida water in my hair. How about that?
Oh shit.
That's
man.
fucking always good.
That's man.
Always good. Oh fuck yeah, it feels so fucking good. Oh fuck. Hell yeah.
So Jason asked a good question for me. He says, when are the mini portals available to purchase for the Halloween experiment? What benefits do the initiated of the shadows reap from this? I am eager to participate and fill my town with shadows, as these folks in my town need a kick up the ass.
Damn.
So JD, I don't know if you were there for some of the times I talked about this, but
no,
I am slowly building up to you guys. I mean, like it's not even an announcement. Most people know what I'm planning on doing, but it will become a bigger announcement later. More formal. I'll do like a special video about it, and when that happens, Jasonius, you will know at that moment, because the video will be out and it will have instructions on what you can do. But for those who are not initiated in the Shadow Current, it's a very simple matter of if you want to support it, you either, however you want to do this, I'm making it easy by offering stickers that I make next to nothing on, because it's like, it won't let me do it for zero because then there's like taxes and weird shit. So I make like maybe 10 cents on each stack of stickers that it sends out. You guys would buy that and you'd use them, or if you don't want to send money to something, which I totally get, maybe I will up the price just so you can feel like you're supporting me, because it's really as simple as just get some chalk or print them out on your own and just put the sigil of Legion around when I announce that this is starting, and you will be able to consecrate them with a very brief little ritual, put them all around the areas where you want that energy to be drawn from. Then it will be sent through, when I open up the ley line vortex nearby where I live, that will become like the main, focusing point for all of that energy, and then it will open up a bigger gate for me. Now, for those of you who are not initiated, that's the way we're going to do it. For those of you who are initiated in the Shadow Current, you've already done the communion ritual, or I would make an exception for people who really believe that they have had connections to shadows for a long time already. Like, there's a working connection, not just knowledge of. You have to be able to intimately talk to them. So if you're at that level with them, either through my work, through my book Shadownomicon, or your own life experience, then you can participate in your own gate opening process in your area. If you have not initiated with these spirits, now is the time, because you got a few months to go before I do this formally. Because the full moon, the Halloween night this year is going to be one of the most energetic Soanes that it's ever fucking happened in my lifetime. It's gonna be on a weekend too. You've got, you know, a moon significance. You've got astral significance. It's a beautiful time for opening gates, and that's what we're gonna do. So one of the important things that you'll probably need to do is try to find or identify a ley line nexus in your area. And that's so what I've been doing right now is me and another buddy, this guy named Josh, and he's been going around. He was one of the first people to initiate into the Shadow Current that was like a fan of mine. And he's been using everything to the best of his ability. He's been getting a lot of incredible results working with the shadow people. They're very much about self, you know, identifying your shadow flaws, we'll say, and working through them to be able to become empowered. He's been working with this for months now. And he's initiated with 3, I think he's going on number 4 of the 7 initial shadows that I described. And so he already participated in that. He has opened up a gate in his area. I've got one in my area. Now, I don't have my finger on the pulse of my area because there's like 1 million people that are my neighbors, but he's in a smaller town in somewhere in Virginia. And so he's like, you know, within a week of doing that, it's a quiet little peaceful town. We had 2 shootings. We had a whole bunch of other uproarious stuff going on. And there's definitely, I feel a difference. People are definitely, you know, being confronted more by their shadow. And the idea behind this process, it's not like a healing ritual of any sort. This is quite literally a sink or swim moment for humanity in a way. Like, humanity has spent its entire civilized time, at least the civilized side of humanity, has spent its entire time creating and burying its shadow deeper and deeper and deeper within its culture and its taboos. And we are not able to function as enlightened beings, let alone ascended beings, because we're so busy with our moralities and our petty bullshit that we live on. So these shadows have been, whether we open these gates or not, they're coming through. These gates, however, will facilitate a more energetic and rapid manifestation of that externally. So it's not, you know, look at the world we're in right now. We're in a world it's not that bad technically. We still live in the golden age of humanity. We have more prosperity and money and freedom than we've ever had in history before. But everybody, despite living in Mousetopia, if you don't know what that is, look it up. Despite living in Rattopia, Mousetopia, everyone is losing their shit. And they're losing their shit on petty little taboos and petty little moral issues, the moral panics, and they're just getting closer and closer together. People aren't integrating their shadows enough in our culture at all. People are denying what they're really about. They're denying their taboos and their perversions and their everything else, instead of integrating them and learning to accept that, hey, this is what I am. I'm not going to act on this necessarily, but this is what I am, and I've got to find a way to be healthy anyway. No, they're taught to be shamed. They're taught to destroy themselves. And it's not healthy. It's very toxic to hate yourself, right? It's much better to realize, hey, I've got this quirk. You know, it's not a healthy quirk. It's like being an alcoholic or something. If you try to fight your alcoholic nature by criticizing it and hey, I'm a fucking alcoholic, I'm a piece of shit, you just made a shadow. And that shadow is going to be with you for your whole life, and it's going to drag you in and out of your addiction. It's going to make you suffer whenever you tap into that bottle. And instead of healing, you're going to be just constantly tearing that wound open over and over. The best way is to, number one, admit, just like, you know, AA would say, you have to admit you have alcoholism, but not be ashamed of it. That's where I differ. Like, after that one, I completely go somewhere else with that. You have to accept you have this, but don't see it as a problem. Be like, this is what I am. This is what I am, but it is in control of me. That is what I don't want. How do I turn that lack of control into control again? So those of you who are interested, again, figure definitely by September I will be announcing this, because I want you guys to have at least a month or 2 in advance to work on it. And I will probably do a video, and I will probably make a PDF ritual document with suggestions on how to do everything. So this way you can do this, and all of that will be for free. This is for all of the people who want to participate. This is a big movement thing. If only 100 people around the world do it, I still think we'll have good results. And we'll do this every fucking year until we get as many gates open as we can get, and see if it changes things a little bit. See if we can change our civilization. So JD, that's the first time you probably heard about all this.
Yeah, it sounds fucking dope though, dude. I fucking love it.
Hey, I mean, I sent you the books if you want to get involved, especially with the Shadow Current.
Yeah.
You know, crack open Shadownomicon and I'll meet you on the field, dude, and we'll fucking, you know, we'll fucking open the gates for people.
Yeah, there's ley lines around here, and you know, like you were saying in Virginia, like, you know, especially like near the mountains and things.
Yeah.
There was like some meetup groups here in Richmond that would go to the, like ley lines on the weekends, like all the time. So yeah, definitely, I can definitely participate. That'd be fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's ley lines everywhere. Let's be honest. Like a ley line, there's different, you know, ideas of what they are and what they're based on. However, you know, the idea of the crossroads, that's a ley line. I think that's a metaphor for a ley line, personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a ley line is the meeting of two energy lines, and they're almost always going to either guide human construction and activity or natural human activity, you know. So like deer trails, when they cross, you probably got a ley line, probably, you know, a crossing right there. You probably got an overlay. If you got major highways, probably right in the middle there, you got a ley line. You've got so much energy moving.
I know where it is near me in the woods, and like when you go in those woods, you like basically get all confused and like lost in them.
Yeah.
It's like an old Indian trading trail.
There's the one that I'm talking about that I like around here is at Janes Hill, New York. There's a rock there. We called it the Rock growing up. You go to the top of this hill. You used to be able to see part of like Farmingdale and into that area, but it's all grown in. And there's 5 different trails that meet up and intersect at the top, the highest point of Long Island, technically. So I'm like, this is Long Island's major nexus, and nobody knows about it but me, I guess. You go there, you feel it. You know, it feels like a safe spot, if that makes sense. It's like while you're sitting in that little area, the spiritual activity around you might be scary as shit, but you feel totally safe there. So we were there. This is when we encountered the shadows the most, was at this place when I was growing up. They were never in that spot. They were always around it. So we'd be there. Like one night we were there in the middle of the night, and we were just kind of hanging out, talking about magic and things, spooking ourselves out. And we heard in the distance what could only be described as like a little girl, like maybe like a teenage girl, screaming for help. You know,
yeah, it sounds like a swamp baby. That we have the swamp babies around here, and that's right where this trail is I'm telling you about too.
Yep.
It's like a little baby screaming.
And so we all were like, you know, we got to do something about this. Maybe some girl's getting raped in the woods. And at the time, because we were constantly doing magic rituals, we were constantly, you know, fighting against shadow people. I had swords with me. We all had swords and weapons and knives and stabs and sticks and shit. I'm like, whoever's doing this, they better have a gun, because we're gonna hoist them up. It's gonna be messy. So we go charging into the woods to try to find out what this is, and we don't find anything. We end up crossing through the woods onto a place called Sweet Hollow Road. Look that shit up if you know. It's one of the most haunted places in the East Coast. You know, Mount Misery, Sweet Hollow Road, Janes Hill, and Kings Park Asylum. Like the asylum's farther away, but that whole area is just. It's so full of urban legends and haunted stories.
Is it like witchcraft legends and things?
Everything, mostly based around the girl in white. I forget what her name was, but she's buried in Mount Misery. And
I'm getting like goosebumps as you're talking about this shit.
If you ever get up here before I move, I will take you on a tour of the coolest shit in this area, and hopefully you'll feel it. It's intense, man. I spent every night over this one summer just going there, in the graveyard that I like, and other places that I frequented, and it was just, you know, but this place in particular. So we end up on Sweet Hollow Road, and we're walking down this road just because we're like, screw it, we're gonna keep looking. Maybe somebody was being attacked on the road, right? And we're walking down the road, and my friend, you know, we see a car pass us, and he turns around and he's like, wouldn't that be some fucked up shit if like that was a ghost car or something?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, don't fuck with me right now. I'm already fucking tense, because I'm like, what are we gonna be encountering? Well, 3 seconds after he said that, the car stops.
Oh, God.
The lights go out. The reverse lights turn on. He fucking swerves back, spins around, doesn't turn his lights on, revs the engine, and I'm like, uh-oh. Tries to run us over. Like, no, I'm not kidding. I got 5 witnesses who will
I had that happen once, too, in my neighborhood, man. Fuck yeah.
So, obviously, there was actually a bunch of kids trying to scare us, or maybe it was something supernatural. So this car's chasing us for like a good... He tries to run us over. He misses, he stops, turns around, and tries to do it again, because we're all splitting up. He's starting to go after us one at a time. I ended up diving off.
I feel like it was a ghost car, man.
It was something fucked up, right? And so The other fucked up thing was it was still in a regular neighborhood. So we went to houses begging for help, because like I wasn't petrified because I'm like, I'm probably not going to get hit because I'm going to stick near the trees, and if he wants to fuck his car up, he can fuck his car up trying to hit me because I'll just duck behind a couple trees if he does. But we were going to people's houses to try to get help. There's cars in every driveway. Lights are on. TVs are on. We're knocking, banging on the door, ringing the doorbell.
God.
Help, help, help. Nothing. Nobody came.
Yeah, it's like you cross over into like another dimension.
Exactly. And
yeah, that's scary shit, isn't it?
This is when I was younger, we had this kind of shit. This is when I tell people, like, I've had these experiences that I can't explain. That's not even on the high level. That's like right around the middle. That was like one of the creepier ones.
It's like you became the spirits.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, true. But there was definitely stuff, you know, that happened. I mean, we had missing time. We had, like, we literally made it from Virginia
Confusion and shit.
What's that?
Major confusion.
For other people, usually. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely stuff like that. The biggest one was we made it from Virginia to New York in about an hour. Yeah, I don't know how we did it. Like, we were like trying to get off the island. We're like, let's go on a road trip. So we got off the island and we made a left, and we didn't care where we ended up. We were just going to go. And we ended up, we saw the sign for Virginia. Like, thank you for entering Virginia. I'm like, dude, that's like 6 hours from like,
yeah.
Like, how do we, like, it only felt like 3. And they're like, I don't know. So we turned around, didn't pay any tolls because we were dumb fuck teenagers. And back then they didn't track you like they do now. So we just like blew every one of them. And we turned around and come back, and we made it in less than an hour, I'm going to say. We saw the glint of New York City off I'm like, how the hell did we do that?
And you did it like on like a tank of gas and probably still had like plenty of gas and shit.
We did. But the car, here's the other fucked up thing. We got back to Long Island, and one of the fucking cylinders blew, like when we got back to the island. So it's like the car aged like another 10 years on the trip. It was a trippy night, man. That was a trippy. And there was a lot more to that night than that. That's just the highlight. There's a lot more. There was a lot of gnosis and creepy shit going on that night. So
it's like that skier that was like skiing somewhere in the mountains on the East Coast, and he just like disappeared and like woke up in California in his ski suit. Like, how the fuck did he get there?
How the hell? Yeah, and you know, I've had all kinds of crazy shit happen when we were younger, and I've forgotten, blessedly, in some ways, some of the experiences because they weren't all good, you know. But the shadow people are a trip, and if you're not ready for them, you know, if you're not ready to face those inner shadows and you approach them with the wrong attitude, they're gonna eat you fucking alive. They're gonna be your worst goddamn nightmare. I would put them well above the danger level of what people would call demons, because they come from within you, and there's nothing worse than.
Would you say that they instill like a high level of anxiety and shit within you and stuff too?
They encourage it, yeah.
Flight mode and shit, beacon in.
Yeah, they encourage it. I would say once you've really integrated them, no longer does that happen. But you're never immune to their jump scare capacity. They will still make you jump. I mean, you'll be walking through a trail at night, and you'll get the heebie-jeebies, and you'll learn how to detach from the heebie-jeebies. Like, I feel the heebie-jeebies, but I'm still going to do what I'm going to do anyway. So they're good at teaching you that. But you'll feel something around you, and you know it's not like a friendly neighborhood spooky ghost or something. This is something that's cold and dark and black, and it's watching you from the depths of your own darkness. It's not okay, you know.
I'm quite sure I ran into some shit like that.
Everybody has.
I got poked by it in the back, and it felt like a very hard like blow, but it felt like a hot poker or like a cigar.
Okay.
And it actually left a burn mark on my back, and it went through 2 shirts, but it didn't burn the shirts, but it burned my skin, and it hurt. It felt like I got like jabbed with like a hot bayonet cigar or something.
The way we described it was a flaming ice pick, or like something is touching you and just sucking all the heat out of you.
Yeah.
So you'd feel like frigid where they touch you, like really, like, because they drain you. They're vampiric beings. Let's put them on that spectrum. So, you know, they're definitely one of the. It was difficult to write about them at first because I was still fearful of them when I was starting that book, and when I finished it, I started to really integrate what they were telling me, and I had kind of like turned it around a little bit, and I started to see myself not as an opposition to them, but more as a facilitator for them. And you know, Legion was originally, I felt very adversarial to him, bossing around, don't fuck with me, I'm powerful now, I've got my allies, I'm spiritual, you can't hurt my family, I'll protect them, I know more than I ever did, I'm integrated now with who I am. And it was like totally different, you know. It took a little while, but it totally different. Now Legion is, you know, he's like a companion at night, you know, and I've got that video where I was talking about walking through my town right after COVID really hit, and we weren't allowed to be out as much, and I'm walking around in that, and you know, I come across a group of pillars of the community, as I like to describe them, you know, hoodlums walking around, going to the local place to get sodas or whatever, and there's like 20, no, there's like 10 of them, I guess, maybe 6, 7, 10 of them, and they were obviously up to some kind of no good, you know, and I'm not a kid hater, but, you know, I knew what they were up to, you know, I heard a bang in the distance before they got there, they were rowdy. So I'm walking down the road now. That video intro that I have is how I walk at night. I look creepy as fuck. I'll have my hood up sometimes. I'll have my trench coat other times. I got my walking stick. That thing will break every bone in your body if you get too close to me.
You're walking around looking like a fucking spirit and shit. People are probably like, "Oh my god, did I just see a fucking spirit?" Like
pretty close. So
I feel like walking. A lot of homeless people that I see are actually spirits, you know, because like a lot of the spirits that I have seen are solid, just as we are, you know, and they're walking on the ground, you know, they're not floating, they look just like us. It's fucking nuts. Let me put this snake up real quick.
Sure,
she's getting all antsy. She's making me crazy.
My friend wants to help as a mod, and he's fucking awesome, so he's about to be Yepson, if you would please step forth, I'm going to anoint you in the power of moderator. So here you go. You should now be blue. Yepson, my beautiful friend, my West Coast friend. Now everybody knows you're my friend. That's gonna fuck with people. They're gonna be like, no, you're not. That's why you can talk shit and I let you get away with it. Like when you asked about my astral temple and called it a dildo. Yepson's a cool guy. He's one of the coolest guys. Yeah. All right, so Jasonius Arcanum's asking, DH Thorne, does your own shadow integrate with the shadow beings when you are being initiate into the shadow current? We'll get your book, but can you tell me what your experiences was like? And Yepson says his reputation has been ruined. Fuck you, dude. I can't wait to play Sea of Thieves with you again, because I'm going to just going to bomb your boat, dude. Oh, wait, we're going to be on the same boat. That won't work. Never mind. All right, so that question's kind of, it's going to be a little subjective in that I had worked with those beings since I was a young man, and I didn't always know it because they came to me originally as fallen angels, the one in particular that I call Ranzael now, which claims to be that name, which is supposedly a fallen watcher that wasn't listed. So he's a very unique entity, and that integration process is described very much in the book. And it's an ongoing process. You'll never, you know, maybe upon the day that you die, maybe shortly after, maybe many generations from now, you will never be fully integrated with your shadow until you're no longer in this delusion of embodied state. But you can work in that direction, and it will make you way more integrated and way more, your ascension will be a lot easier. You'll start to understand yourself so much better. You know, and if you have, it's very much it is a system of magic you can use for other things. I wouldn't consider them like the Goetia. You can't just like call them and be like, do my bidding. It's not going to be like that. They will give you a lot of personal power if you work with them, but it's going to be more personal power than it is external power. And when they act in your life, it's usually mysterious and fucked up. You know, to give examples, like people would threaten me in real life. And like literally threaten me, like they're gonna fucking kill me or something. And through no action of my own or anyone that I know, within a day a mysterious accident would happen. They'd have a heart attack, their car would flip over in the middle of the highway and burst into flames and they would die. And I was always told afterwards that was us, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like, are you guys killing for me? What the fuck's going on? And it was, of course, with the intention to make me feel too powerful, I guess. It was like, it was almost like, how do I put this? Like, it almost robbed me of something by doing that for me. It was like, you know, I can't put it any better than that. It wasn't right to me, but they did it nonetheless. I'm sure of it, because some of these people, it was so many of them. I'm going to say at least 5. One of the dudes was one of my best friends growing up, and he ended up completely turning on me and fucking me over. And he turned into like just a complete dick. Oh yeah, the one that shot his wife. Yeah, I had this boss.
God damn.
This guy was a complete. Yeah, my wife just pointed out this guy shot his boss. This guy was a complete fucking piece of shit, and he would hide in his office at this deli that I worked at, and he was shady as all hell. And we got along, obviously, because I get along with everybody. But he liked me, but at some point he fired me because I just, I was like 20-something, I didn't want to work there anymore. I guess I was 30-something, whatever old I was. I didn't want to work in like shitty deli jobs. It was just a stepping stone. And I barely showed up, 1 or 2 times, and he got mad, obviously, like any boss should. I didn't do the right thing, we'll be honest. So he fired me, but then he wouldn't pay me what he owed me. I'd show up, and he would be hiding in his office, and the people in the front would say, oh, he hasn't been here in days. Meanwhile, they'd have to go back to check. Let me go check and see if he's here. No, he's not here, after 5 minutes. Yeah, sure.
Like, I saw his car in the parking lot, motherfucker. Like.
And I'd look dead in the camera. I'm like, I'll be back tomorrow. And I did that like every fucking day. And he never showed himself. It was like $250, something like that. And I was mad at him. I told my wife, we were all like, that fucking dick. And I wasn't doing magic at this point at all. Magic was long in the past for me in a lot of ways. And but I kind of felt that same vibe. And within 6 months, he shot his wife 7 times in the head with a 38 right in the business. Like just bow, 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 and like it fucked up the whole community for like.
So is he in prison? I guess.
I didn't follow up. I really don't care. Another dude he got really screwed up. He was like almost my brother. My mom and like his family were getting together. My mom and his father, and they were getting together, and we were almost like brothers. And for a long time, we were like close together. But he started betraying me a lot. And this dude, he was always a problem guy. I mean, the Shadows had their hooks in him since he was a kid, and they weren't letting go. And he never learned from his experiences, and he ended up driving a car way too fast while drunk, flipping it, and he's a vegetable now. Like he's like literally just like he doesn't function anymore. And he's a shell. Like there's no way to know anything about him anymore. There's a lot of people like that. My wife is saying I'm too far from the mic, but it's like right here. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's all. I might need a new mic too. This mic's like been used a bunch. Let me turn it up a little more.
What kind of mic do you have?
And I mean, it's one of those things where some of this stuff probably sounds like, oh yeah, sure, Thorne, sure. I don't blame you. Like I would never. This is why I'm not like, I don't make videos about that stuff, because though it happened, it wasn't one of those things where I can say I got proof of this and that. It was the same kind of proof I have about anything that I do. So, all right.
No, I mean, I've had those kind of crazy experiences like that, and they are very real, and it friggin' happens, and it like totally warps and fragments your reality. If you let it, it's really hard to wrap your head around that shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like it drains me to think about. I'm going to be honest with you. Like even thinking about it, like now I'm like I don't want to talk about that. Mm-hmm. It's like I feel like this is like if you watch one of these old videos I did is Lord of Shadow or something like that, and I'm fucking pissed off when I shot that video because I was given like this title and I was made to feel like, oh, this is my job to be their emissary and shit. And I'm like, I don't like chosen one bullshit. Even though I'll call myself a chosen of Lucifer, I'm very quick to point out I'm one of many, many, many that share that title. I'm not unique. It's nothing more than that. But it's this feeling like, oh, I'm this, spectacularly different person. There's a part of me that resists it and says, no, that's not. Don't let your ego blow up in that direction, right? Don't let your ego become convinced of that kind of divinity. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for true power and self-motivation, self-power. Not if I whisper to the winds, the winds will kill you. Like I'm not into that direction. I'm not like that. It just bothers me. Did I get any backlash? Yeah, not in the way you'd think, though. I mean, I don't believe in the sevenfold law or the threefold law or the way most people get karma completely wrong anyway. So I don't get backlash like that. If you were talking to me, D. Miller, but not in that sense. I've never gotten the kind of backlash other people do. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I completely wash myself of the responsibility of what's going on. If someone's paying me to do a baneful curse, that's on them. It's not on me. They're paying for it with their energy. And I'm just doing the work. I guess you were talking to Tara. I'm sorry. You've done a few curses in your day, right, JD?
Just a few, yeah. Just a few, and I will say that, you know, I was definitely like pleasantly fucking surprised at the manifestation and how quick it was, you know, especially, I feel like especially when justice is actually being served and it's actually like what you're doing is actually right and just and it's not just you being a fuckhead. Like when it's true justice, like it's gonna happen fucking swiftly and it's gonna be fucking so fucking sweet. And you know, and I'll say that like I don't feel fucking bad about it at all because like fuck those motherfuckers. Like,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And if I do it for myself, I have a rule about doing this, nothing to do with morality or anything. In order for it to work best, I look for people that are teetering on the edge. They're already fucked up because the best curses work with what they're already doing, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm telling you right now that people who are just generally balanced and good people, and when I say good, like they live a benevolent life and they're generally, they don't have a lot of fucking hang-ups and shadows. It's hard to curse those people because they protect themselves with their own energy.
If they're a drug addict, then it's going to be pretty fucking easy.
Right. Yeah, quite exactly. If they've got that opposite. What's up, Nina? How you doing, sweetie? Nina's here. I think she comes on yours a lot, too, and helps you out, too.
Yeah. Nina's going to be a moderator on my channel, too. What's up, Nina? I've known Nina for many years.
Oh, D. Miller was asking me, yeah. Yeah, Nina's awesome, man. I love Nina.
Yeah.
She's been here, and, like, I didn't know. Like, she'd come in. I didn't know whether I should be her friend or not. She just started, like, yo, make me moderator. I'm like, I get a good energy feeling about this person. Sure, I'll give you moderator. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And she's been with, and I'm like, I feel like I got to repay her. She's like, no, don't give me anything. I'm like, well, come on my show. No, I want nothing. I'm like, okay. Well, go to her channel, guys. She does awesome readings and stuff. If you don't know, go to her channel. She's a beautiful person. She's got great energy and just good information. And, you know, she'll take care of you really good. So.
Hey.
Can you see the chat good, JD? I don't know if you can see it from where
I can see it. I can. It's very small, so it takes me a minute to read it, but I can see it though. Yeah.
Let me see. I might be able to zoom it in a little. I don't know if I can. Let me try.
Oh, it's bigger. Oh, look at that.
Is that better for you?
Yeah. Holy shit, fuck.
All right. It's going to be a little harder to zoom around, but.
Oh, this is great, man.
So, all right. This is what we're going to do. Catonic Tonic, my brother. How's it going, buddy? Thank you so much for coming as always. Thank you for that donation as always. Man. One of my first and best fans, and we get into some fucking righteous arguments, this guy and me, but I respect the shit out of him. He's a really good guy. And you'd like JD. You definitely like JD, I guarantee it. Check him out, 100%.
Thank you. Fuck yeah.
Guy. And Katana Tonic, I don't know if he's still doing his own channel, but he started dabbling into making his own YouTube videos. And, you know, he was getting off to a decent start, but he may have put it down a little bit, so we'll see. So, all right, so good. Now, so let's do this. Like, you guys have been asking me questions quite a bit, which I don't mind. But let's get a few questions for our resident expert. Oh, I guess it just shrunk again for you, right? Let me fix that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay. However, is fine, but it was really good. Yeah.
All right, let me get it.
It's like one of those like elderly people cell phones.
I mean, you are sitting across the room, so.
Yeah.
T. Camilla, my dear. If you're still here, if you can still hear me, she got her headphones on. I have my thing zoomed in really far, so I might not catch things when people send them to me. So if you wouldn't mind, just keep me posted if anybody asks questions that I don't catch that you think are important. Just get my attention somehow.
And I hope you don't mind that I've made myself very comfortable. So.
Have you watched my streams before? I'm borderline like, you know, feet up. I mean, it's like, you know.
Okay, well, good. Okay, well, good. I'm just making sure that, you know, I'm not being too relaxed here.
You've got that pan energy right now. Like, I feel like you're sitting on like a stump somewhere. Just like you should have a pipe in your hand and a fiddle and just like, you know, come to me. Let's talk about your lusts and your loves and things.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know what I like. You know what I like. Yeah.
So let's get some questions for JD or me, but let's get some questions going because you know, we talked so much last night. I feel like we got it out of our system, so I don't even know what to even bring up right now. What are you working on right now? How about this? What are you? Because you've kind of like, because you've been busy and you've had your shit going on in your life, and you've kind of like, you know, you need to take a break from you're going to be, you've been telling me that you're, not that you've left it behind, but you're going to be refocusing again on your practice and your outreach and all that stuff. So
yeah,
what do you feel like's coming?
For me or in general?
Well, for you first. I know you want to talk about the world too. I know that was like one of your...
the world. Yeah, I do want to talk about that. I mean, for me, I'm just like really trying to find myself again, and like, you know, now that I am like utterly alone for the first time in my life, I'm really having that opportunity to go within and like really truly like meet myself and find out who I am, and really figure out like what direction I personally want to go in without any other kind of outside influence or anything of that nature. So, you know, I really want to focus on my healing practice, on shamanism. You know, I'm really, really into the whole ayahuasca thing now, of course, as most people know that follow me. That's really helping me so much to open up spiritually and to really connect with the earth and like the living spirit of the earth. Like that I think that is my main focus right now is communing with the living spirit of the earth. And like that's given me so much personal power, more than I've ever felt in my life, you know, and now that I'm not just like giving my sexual energy away every single fucking day, and like I'm keeping that for myself too, that is like really, really empowering me as well. And like I want to see what I can do with that. You know, my magic has just really been off the chart lately, like in ways that it has never, ever, ever been. And a lot of that does have to do with me not giving away my energy like I used to, you know, especially from a sexual standpoint, you know, because, you know, I was a huge fucking whore forever. And like, so this is like a new thing for me, right? But it's a beautiful thing though, and I'm really embracing it, and I'm actually happy about it, you know. And like, if you would have asked me just a month ago if I could ever do this and actually be okay with it and not be like going totally fucking insane because I put, you know, sex was like at the upper echelon of everything to me. Like sex was like everything. And now I'm seeing, like, for me anyways, like how unimportant it really is, and like the benefits of keeping that energy and what it can actually do for you.
Yep.
I'm experiencing it firsthand, and I'm really digging it. Like it, and it's, you know, it's like anything else. It's like once you integrate that into yourself, you change in such a way that it's like all of these thoughts, all of these urges, all of these things that, you know, used to be so important just aren't important anymore. Right, you know, right. And it's not in the back of my mind at all. You know, like it's not one of those things that's like nagging at me all the time. I just like totally let it go. And it's like very, very liberating, you know, especially for somebody like me, because it's like going from one extreme to the other.
Right. Because you're kind of like, it's like you're shifting from like AC to DC current in a way, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, you're living off of that shared dynamo of sex energy, and now you've got to learn how to just be a steady current of just here's me.
Yeah.
Here's me. Yeah, that's
Absolutely. I love it, man. I really do. I mean, I'm happier than I've ever been. You know what I mean? And I feel like whole, you know, like I feel whole, like I've never felt whole, you know. And I think that was something that I was always searching for, and it was something that I think maybe that like I thought maybe was like never really actually attainable. It was just like, you know, one of those ideas that was just so far off in left field that I could never grab it and get a hold of it and actually do something with it. But I've actually been able to, and that like really coincides really well with me immersing myself into ayahuasca, because that's something that you're supposed to do when you do that, is, you know, like be a clean vessel as far as like no drugs and no alcohol and not eating meat and abstaining from sexual activity, and I'm doing all of those things. And so when I do go commune with Mother Aya, it's like so fucking powerful and so impactful.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
every time I go, it changes my life.
Now, Mother Aya, that's not related to the Sumerian Aya, right? It's not the same thing at all?
No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think she's, I have found that she does have, I know coletting is kind of tied her to Hecate. Mm-hmm. I find that she's very closely linked to Lucifer and Santa Muerte. For me personally, anyways, like I really feel strong ties, and actually Belial too, with her being kind of, so earthy and him being so earthy. He has been a major part of that too, and in like such a synchronistic way. It's been like really fucking crazy.
Right. I mean, I love when that happens, because I think a lot of these spirits are masks for a higher archetype, right? I mean, I think that's a lot of what they are. Maybe not entirely, but a lot of it. Or they are very similar, and so they come together in groups, and they kind of work together. And, we kind of create these puppets for them to animate for us. And what they really are is so alien in some ways to what we understand, but yet so relatable. It's like hard to explain. But that's interesting. All right. So that's one thing I was going to say is, like, there's different schools of thought on sexual energy. There's also the school of thought that, retention is okay, but it's actually not as good, because you're actually, you're from an energy worker's, vampiric standpoint, it's stagnant. It's a stagnant energy pool in your body. You're retaining that creative energy, but rather than just having it sit there like sleeping kundalini at the base of your spine, I prefer, if I'm going to be doing that stuff, guy talk, guys, if you're going to be doing the deed, right, utilize that time to raise that kundalini through your chakra system. When you're at the point of climax, there's something called anking. Now, I don't know where this actually comes from, but I tried it. Fucking amazing practice. You essentially, when you're reaching the state of climax, instead of right away, you're trying to hold it as far long as you can, so you're at the point of like, hell no, can't wait no more.
Like an edging type of thing?
Like an edging kind of thing. Once you reach that point where you're like, I gotta go, it's time to go. You let it loose, but what you do is when you feel like you're almost there, breathe into about 2/3, 3/4 of a full lungful of air, and hold your breath while you're getting like edge right up to that, and hold it as long until you feel like your lungs are like on fire because you got to breathe.
I can like swallow it back down.
Just hold it there. Then let go with the guy juice or girl juice, as the case may be. But this works best for guys for a very specific reason. So so as you're pumping that out, you get it up to that position. That energy now you're going to channel up through your bodily chakra system. When it hits your solar plexus, it's actually going to go out through a tube in your back. You're going to visualize and feel it going out. You're going to hold your breath until it reaches this solar plexus point. Once it hits the solar plexus point, you're going to feel that energy rising, that pleasure, that energy, the warmth, all of that. When it hits your solar plexus level, then you finish the inhalation. You inhale to give it that, to shoot it back behind you through the back of your solar plexus chakra, up and over around your head, looping through your ninth chakra up above, or whatever number you want to ascribe to it, the external of the crown, the one above your crown. You loop it through that, then back through down into the front of your solar plexus or your heart. Is different schools of thought. You hit that back into yourself. So by looping that around, you've passed it through divinity back into yourself, and now that creative force is now cycling through your body, and it's extending your energy body that much more, making it healthier, and it's no longer just being shot out into the cosmos. You've looped it around back into yourself. So once you've reached that point where it enters your body again, you exhale and just go back to go back to normal. And try it sometime. You can even look it up. You could Google it. It's called I think it's sexual anking or something like that. Look it up, and you will have that little bit of extra autoerotic asphyxiation pleasure, as well as you'll feel that shit flowing through your body. And that's what people tell me.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I fucking love sex. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's nothing more beautiful and nothing more sacred. And I mean, it's especially with the right person, it's just like, you know, it's pure fucking ecstasy, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess I just, you know, right now with what I'm doing, you know, and I'll definitely try that for sure. And I think I definitely resonate with what you're saying. I feel like I have felt that before, without a doubt. Even though I wasn't like consciously trying to make that happen in that way, but
see, I think total abstinence is destructive. I think that, you know, that no fap November shit. It's good to see if you've got the balls to hold it that long. That's fine, but I don't think spiritually or even biologically.
I'm thinking the creative energy right now because I was so stagnant on the creative end for so long.
Right.
That I'm just like really using it. I think that I'm using it. I'm just not using it in the same manner in which I was, which was basically just like, hey, you want my energy? Here it is. Here.
Yes. Yeah.
Here. You want it? Here it is. You want it? Here it is.
Try that onking a few times, man. You might find that all that energy you're wearing on your sleeve and giving to people for free, you need to get some of that back into yourself. You're going to turn yourself into a vampire if you're not careful. You know, you're going to be so busy giving.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's happened already in a lot of ways, you know, but I try to like resist it and I try not to be like that at all. But you know how it is. It's hard to suppress that energy.
Yeah, I do though.
Yeah.
It you know what it is? I try to turn that kind of thing into a thing that it's kind of like when I do a ritual with spirits. I don't give them a pact where it's like, you give me this, I'll give you that. I go, if you give me this, then this thing you're giving me will benefit us both, and that makes it work better. So if I do anything like that to people, I do it subconsciously now, but in a way where it's like, I'm going to help you out. Tell me your problems. Tell me what's going. Tell me your woes. Let me be your seer. Let me be your reader.
Well, you did that for me last night, and it was fucking amazing, man.
I couldn't have helped myself. You could have said. I didn't even mean to. I just started talking to you.
No, it was great, man.
I felt like you needed to, like, not that you don't know these things, but I felt like, you know, when you're
I needed that shit. I needed that, man.
Yeah, we all do, man. There's times where, and I told you, I'm like, give me a few months, something will happen to me, and you're gonna be like, Thorne, remember when you told me what you told me? And well, now it's your turn, motherfucker. I'll be like, no, fuck you, you're wrong. You know, we'll probably catch it live on TV and everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn to the questions now. My wife has been dutifully, you know, keeping track of the questions. She sent me a few of them. Let me scroll through a couple that are good. And you know what I might do is in the future I might have somebody on just audio and they can just chime in and be like, here's a question. Like, here's a question you were asking. Someone, Dice Controller asked, will the ink bleeding through on paper affect sigil charging? I mean, I would think that's irrelevant, right? I mean, that doesn't seem, that's like more of a mechanical kind of question. Like, I don't think there's any real reason to fear that at all, right? I mean, that just, what do you think, JD?
Yeah, I think that it's okay. You know, I mean, I've had a lot of that kind of thing happen to where like the sigil will like even kind of morph into something else.
Like spreading through the paper and like,
exactly. So, I mean, I kind of feel like it actually makes it more powerful in a way.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget, and I actually, now that I think about it, I think it was actually one of EA's videos. It's coming to me like I feel like I've seen it in one of his videos, where he's talking about when you're using paper and you're scrying paper, for example, you can, maybe I'm making this up, but it's something that I've done where you stare at paper and you look for patterns in it and you just follow the patterns and you find sigils on there all the time. I mean, it's interesting how that'll work, but yeah, don't worry about blood or ink spilling through your sigil. I mean, you guys have seen my Azazel idol, right? It's just blood. It's just caked on blood from all the offerings I've given him of blood. It's like, don't even worry about it. You know, it's just what it is. Don't worry about that. That's like asking, does it matter if I say bibbidi bobbidi boo or bibbidi babbidi boo? It's not going to matter. Not that much.
Yeah, and I think to me, there's so many goddamn things in Magic that just don't fucking matter. Like, for me, like, I don't give a fuck what direction I face. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I'm just going to do what feels inherent within me to fucking do, and it fucking works, and I'm not saying I'm above any kind of, like, laws or ways to do this or that, but, like, I just don't subscribe to certain things, and like if that's something that I don't subscribe to and I don't feel like I need, it's not important, then it's just not important.
Right. It gets too mechanical. Like, this is an art form more than it is, and I said this in a recent something. It's more. I'm getting like senile. I'm getting like Alzheimer's. I don't remember when I said things. Everything that I've been saying in a lot of these videos lately, I've said like 20 times already. magic is more of an art form than a science. It doesn't mean there isn't a science involved in it, but it's the science of colors and color theory. But the real magic is in the artwork that you're making. It's
just in the expression of yourself, you know.
Right. And do planetary associations matter? Does direction matter? Do colors matter? Does incense choice matter? Does word choice matter? Yes. No. Both. Equal measure. It really depends on you and where you're coming from and why you're using them. If I believe strongly that, one of the things that I will tell you is that I've invoked spirits using planetary gates, so to speak, because I consider the planets like gateways of energy, of our archetypal energy. If I invoke a spirit that, like Azazel, and I pull him through Saturn, he comes through the more Saturnian energy. If I pull him through Venus, he comes with the more Venusian kind of resonance and stuff like that. What does that mean exactly? Maybe it's just my own thought form game. Maybe I'm just, the thought form I'm generating is my own personal blend of belief, and when I create that puppet that animates with their truth, then it has that coloring to it, because that's what I did. It's like, if I paint you blue, you're gonna be blue. Something about you is gonna be blue now, right? I mean, you'll still look the same way, you'll still be JD Temple, but you're gonna be a blue JD Temple, and that's gonna
I was a blue JD Temple in one of my fucking visions of being an Egyptian blue motherfucker doing some worshipping rite with some chick. Last
yeah. Blue is one of my favorite colors. I'm probably going to say black, red, gold, and blue would probably be in that order of the ones that I like, but blue's up there for me.
Blue and green myself, and I like gold and yellow and orange, yeah.
All right, we like them all. Fuck it, we like them all. Yellow's ugly though, but I do like it, but it's ugly.
It goes good with orange and red, I think.
Orange is cool, red's cool. Red with, anything with black pretty much is cool. Anything with black is cool.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I think blue, translucent blue, the color that I would think and associate with Lucifer and his healing fucking energy, because he does have this this weird extraterrestrial translucent blue.
Okay, yeah.
I love that. I love blue, blue Christmas lights. That's my favorite shit.
I mean, there's a reason why I usually have blue or blue-green behind me.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, yeah.
And that is that Luciferian, that indigo blue, that teal blue, that indigo blue. Fuck yeah. In fact, if you guys like this, which you can't really see it too good, this lighting. Actually, you can see it pretty good right now.
I want to get that, man.
I have them huge. I have them the 108-inch version. This is the tiny one. This is actually the small one.
I need to get myself one of those, because I love that shit.
It's got my favorite short invocation for Lucifer to use as a mantra and ritual. You can sit here and just stare at this motherfucker and just keep chanting this that's written here, and you will. I promise you'll get something. If you don't, you're broken. It's not my fault.
Yeah, there are those people out there.
Yeah, there are, because they're too
dead inside. The people that are dead inside. We were talking about those dead people.
Yeah, they are. You can tell. Look for the eyes. In fact, I want to do. Maybe you and I could sit down. This would actually be a fun project for me and you. Maybe sit down and just go through random people on the internet, people somehow we'll make them safe from getting attention, right? And we'll point out the eye details, because you can see it in people's eyes when they're dead. I
got a number one for you, but
no, not right now.
No, I know. I'm not gonna. I'm just saying.
Behemoth, brother, what's up? Behemoth X is here.
Hey,
Joseph Moon is here. He's saying hi,
Dr.
JD.
J. I like to call him Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Dr. J, baby. Yeah.
I love that dude, man. For those of you who don't know, he's another. If I'm sure if he could, he would. I would die to have him on the channel too. I think he'd be. I probably wouldn't talk at all. I would just be like, could you talk in that voice you got and just talk? Tell you what.
Me too.
I would just write it for him and just you say it for me, dude. He's got a beautiful speaking voice. And his videos are banging. They're fucking banging, right?
Fuck yeah. That's right.
One of the best. One of the absolute best. Trust him with everything too. One of the best I've ever seen. Let me see here. We had another question. Let me find it again. This one, we had a couple that were good. We had. Would you consider or describe the astral realm as collection of sound frequencies and vibrations? Kind of going off of Tesla's theory. I think you're talking about the ether and stuff like that, right? Probably. I don't know if you want to go first, because I have a very strong opinion about this, but go ahead if you want to go first.
I mean, I feel like that everything is vibration and frequency. You know, I mean, that's everything. I mean, especially that realm, because I feel like that is where you bring things into form. You know, and you bring it into form through that like resonant frequency and vibration. So I would say yes, but
all right, my turn. Hold on. Pop! No, I'm kidding. All right. I want to touch on what you said first because that's an interesting point. Resonance and frequency, what is that? Resonance and frequency. The best way to describe it would be like a piano chord of guitar string, and it's vibrating up and down, right? It's moving, and actually they don't move in a straight line. If you ever really watch a guitar string after it's plucked, it's a circle, okay? It's a sine wave or whatever. It's a circular, it's actually a toroidal spin, right? So this thing that you're seeing, it's still, what is that? What is that exactly? People make the mistake of thinking maybe it's binary, maybe it's a gradient, maybe it's this. It is a kind of gradient. It's like a pendulum swinging from one direction or the other. And reality happens in the middle, right? Reality happens between the two extremes of the swinging of the pendulum. Your awareness is what determines whether something is astral or material. Your awareness is like that string going back and forth between what is both an idea and what is a thing. Now, the Trinity of Self, which I gave you my books, JD, so I expect your answer to be different next week. I'm kidding. But I gave you my books, so you'll have a different perspective perhaps after that. But the way I see it, okay, our awareness is mind, and mind is an identified, kind of like people who have dissociative identity disorder. You know, they call them alters, and they have multiple personalities. They call them alters.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, I got experience with that.
So you are an alter of the source. I'm another alter of the source. We are all alternative personalities of the source. And we branch out, like you have the first emanation would be a godlike being, right? There'd be a godlike divinity, and it would branch and spread into less and less, self-aware entities, right? When you get to where we are, we're not even anywhere near the bottom of the spectrum. No matter where you are in this division process, you're always in the middle. That's how infinite it is. There is no zero consciousness and there is no perfect consciousness. It is just zero consciousness is to the left, full consciousness is to the right, okay? You're always dead middle of that, no matter where you are. But your awareness, if you understand the Trinity of Self in my book, Become the Maelstrom, your sense of awareness of self, of mind, is the part of you that decides what a thing is. It decides to see reality as the Maya that is what we experience. That is what mind does. Mind is the facilitator of Maya experience. It is a choice system. Okay? It is the heart chakra personified. That's why the heart chakra, that soul star, that center of us, is really that core of us. That's why it's the most important chakra for a lot of people. It's the center of your ability to manifest reality because you have your throat chakra and your solar plexus. Those are the three chakras of manifestation. Anything you want to do, see, do or cause or express or feel in your experience goes through those three chakras totally. They don't go through any of the other ones, okay? All the other ones are experiential. You have your sacral, which is, it feels, it's the passion, it's the sexual energy, it's the this and then that. The third eye is the receptive of visions and spiritual gnosis and understanding. The crown is the antenna for that spiritual gnosis and antennae. The root is how you receive the vibrations of the mundane. It's how you become aware of your needs for food and shelter and all these things. So your heart represents, that's why it's green. And if you look on the Trinity of Self in the book, the mind is green. Okay, it's labeled as green. Then you have the spirit, which is the next of the three trinities. Then you have body. Each one of those represents an extreme of source. So mind is an extreme identification of self. That's what that is. That's where your ego lives. Your ego sits on the throne of your heart chakra, right? It's your ego is installed into your heart chakra. It acts like it is you, but it's not you. Your heart chakra is more like what you are if you were really gonna, and that's not fair either because there's no such thing as chakras. But I'm getting too fucking tangential.
Yeah.
I'll be here for days trying to just pick all these little pieces out. Your heart chakra then being the center of your awareness, mind, body, and experience. Where your heart chakra is focused as an awareness dictates what your reality is like. The spirit is all of the potential possibility of idea, ideation, and anything that you can imagine, dream of, or have any kind of quantitative understanding of. It is Plato's forms. If you understand Platonism or Neoplatonism, Plato's forms are ideas without substance. So you, as a being, ultimately are an idea without substance. You don't have a physicality to the idea of J.D. Temple. Okay, the idea of J.D. Temple, the form of J.D. Temple, rather, is ascribed to this blob of meat that you think is J.D. Temple. It's not. Any more than that blob of meat is J.D. Temple. J.D. Temple is not the blob of meat. So you can cut your hand off, you're still there, 100%. You cut it further up, you're still there. You cut it all the way up, you destroy your body. Like in my vision when you were doing that working, where my body burst into flame and vanished, but I was still there somehow. That's you. This idea of what you are is spirit. That's the spirit, this idea. I am that. I am J.D. Temple. So it's an ego egregore. Body is the stuff. It's the materia. It is the gobbledygook, the Rorschach ink blot of chaos that doesn't have any form on it whatsoever. So imagine a Rorschach ink blot without anybody looking at it. Imagine a Rorschach ink blot in a dark room, nobody looking at it. That's what body is. Mind is the observer trying to look at that Rorschach ink blot in the dark. Spirit is the light which illuminates the patterns, and then the mind compares the patterns from the astral, the spiritual, and the body. Where they come together, you get substance, you get maya, you get experience. So you have the idea of a thing. So you have the idea of a ball. I've used this analogy. Some of you are going to tune out for a minute because this is every fucking stream I do. You have an idea of a sphere separate from an object that is a sphere. The object is not a sphere. The object is a blob of matter. The sphere is the idea. The soul of a sphere is the idea of the sphere.
I see.
So I've used this analogy. By the way, guys, you can tune back in about 2 minutes because you guys know what I'm about to do. I take out this ball of labradorite every fucking stream now. You have this ball of labradorite. Well, no, it's not a ball of labradorite. It is an energy pattern, and there is no separation between me and this ball whatsoever. It's an ethereal connection, ether with an e, not astral ether necessarily. We are one substance, okay, with different gradients of physicality. If you pare everything down to its smallest form, there is no space between us. We are one energy. It's just I'm much more condensed. I'm hard light. This is hard light. The space between us is fluid light. It is light without substance. So this is hard light too. So what I'm holding in my hand is a blob of energy. It only becomes a sphere when I decide that it's a sphere. It only becomes labradorite because I've identified it reminds me of what labradorite should be in the spiritual realm. So in the spiritual realm, there is a perfected form, the Platonic form of a sphere. It is a perfect sphere. It is a flawless, holy, divine sphere, if you will. There is a holy, divine, flawless idea of labradorite as well. We compare those ideas to the stuff around us, and we go, that looks a lot like a sphere. No, it's not a perfect sphere, but it looks like a sphere. Yeah, that looks like what I think labradorite is in the spiritual. So I'm going to call it labradorite. Now, is it a real substance? Is it a real ball? Of course it is. But it is not in that. See, you're mushing the two, they're not separate, but the two extremes of possibility together. Spirit is idea without form. Body is form without idea. Reality, as we understand it, the subjective experience, the objective experience, the maya, is when you take those two together and overlay them with each other, you go, eureka, this is a ball of labradorite. That's what this is. But if I were to hand this to a little child who doesn't know what labradorite is, it's just a rock. It's a rock ball. It stops being labradorite for them. If I hold this out to my cat and roll it, they're going to chase it because it's an analog to a mouse. To them, it's a mouse. To a cat, your table is a plateau that food appears on. To some people, a hot dog is a sandwich. This is the nature of reality at fundamental levels. So what is astral and what is material? Okay, well, in between each one of those three aspects of mind, body, and spirit, there is a plane of awareness that you can either be aware of or not be aware of, etc. Between the mind and the body is the material plane that most of us identify as the real world, because we live in a materialistic perspective of reality. Between the mind and the spirit is the astral realm. This is ideas that have been understood by a mind, decided by a mind, because the spirit is infinite in terms of possibility. It's got every possible idea you can imagine. So it's the mind that differentiates one idea from another. A lot of people's astral experiences are like they feel like they're in clouds, like, and they can see through things, and that's because the spirit realm is invisible completely. There is no physicality to it, so there's nothing to see, but it can be known by your awareness, because your awareness is independent of this stuff. It has nothing to do with this stuff in the sense that it's not required to have a substance, to have an experience. To have a vivid experience, a material experience, yes. So when you go into the astral realm, you're actually in a place where there's a little bit of substance injected into it, either by memory, because of the mind brings with it memories, or because it's a looser density energy form, something like that. But when you go to that astral realm, that's your awareness moving. You are not changing position whatsoever. You're not going anywhere. When you're aware of the astral, you're still everywhere. You're always everywhere. But your awareness is no longer looking only at the body. It's no longer looking at just the material side of reality, assuming that's real. It's what we would call going internal, but it's not really internal, because that assumes that the material is external to the self. It's not. You're that too. The internal is inside everything. It's like imagine a singularity. It's got no surface, right? The material world would be the surface of the singularity, and the internal world would be the inside of that singularity, but there really is no difference. They're the same thing. Well, so you're having this experience of material reality right now. We all are. I'm focused on the material reality because it's my biology. I've chosen as a identified mind to go, hey, this is my body that I'm going to focus on. This is who I am right now. And so I'm going to pretend that I'm D.H. Thorne, a big fat guy that does magic. That's what I'm going to imagine. And you're going to imagine I'm J.D. Temple and I'm some guy sitting in my living room where I do rituals and this and that. And you're going to focus on that, but that's not what you are. You're not that at all. You're none of those things. That's a story you're telling so that that blob of stuff makes sense to you. When you are focused on the material, that's all you can be. When you focus more on the spiritual side, you begin to understand that this substance is irrelevant. It's important, but it is not doing anything. It's static. It's literally static, like on a TV screen, and like an analog TV screen when you have no channel turned to it. It's just static, and you're picking out patterns as a mind and going, hey, that looks like a horse. That looks like D.H. Thorne. That looks like that. That's what it is. So when you're in the astral realm, you've liberated your awareness a little bit. You've shifted your focus a little bit towards the spiritual instead of the body. And now you're not limited by materiality so much. You can fly. You can teleport around. Like I could come to you. Did I come to you? No. I don't believe that my awareness came to you. My awareness is with you right now anyway. What came to you was nothing. In other words, I didn't travel to your ritual. That doesn't happen. You didn't summon me to your ritual space, no matter what it feels like. You created me. You created my egregore, and it filled with a piece of my awareness. That's what happens. So my awareness doesn't travel. It simply shifts its gaze somewhere a little bit to the side. And that's why I don't see exactly what you see, but I do see the energy and the meaning of what you're doing. I feel the higher form of what you're doing, not the substance. The substance, I can't, as a disembodied form, see substance. I need to be identified with the thing. So when I travel to you, quote unquote, in that astral, that's why I couldn't pick out every detail. I could sort of, maybe what I did a little bit was maybe just slightly, not possess you, but ride you a little bit. No, there's a house over there, and there's this. I got a feeling, because it was probably not in your mind very strongly at the time. So I'm picking up on what you know, and what's important to you at those moments and what you're trying to get me to know. So the spiritual, the platonic form of what you're doing, I can sort of get, sort of. This is why I challenge people who say they can soul travel. I'm going to put something in my cupboard. Go tell me what's in it tomorrow. I promise you, you'll be able to tell what I put in there. If you can do that, you'll figure it out. I promise you. Nobody can do it. You know what they can do? And they can always say, well, I think it was red. Okay, you can do that, because that's the tip of the iceberg of that platonic form that you're able to touch, because it's not your reality that you're touching. You're trying to touch mine. So this is why it gets so complicated. This is why I got to go for hours to explain it. I sound crazy, right? But this is the fun part. This is the fun part. So the astral realm is the world of disembodied spirits. The material realm is the world of the embodied spirit. You are both. You and I are both. We are all both. The gods are both. But their form of body is non-local. Our form of body is local. They've zoomed out. Remember I told you last night, when you have that zoom out experience of ego disillusionment, you zoom out of your tiny little narrow pinpoint of self, and you become aware of being much more than that. But you can still identify as an egregore and talk like you're an egregore and be that egregore, that person that you've been identified as. But you're not that anymore. You've stopped being that a long time ago. You are the same way. And when you align your holistic self, the mind, body, and spirit, when you align it with a singular purpose, that's when magic happens in a powerful way, because you're no longer distracted from your divinity. When you bring those three aspects of yourself into proper alignment and focus, in other words, they're equidistant from one another. You're no longer looking at just the material. That's unhealthy, really. If you're looking at only the astral, that's also unhealthy for you as a being. That's not perfect. A perfected being is a being that is aware of both equally. One eye, like Odin, one eye is gone. That's seeing the spirit. One eye is full. It sees the material. That is why Odin is a divine being. He was an embodied God form in some kind, of some way, and manifested his will in some way. That's the story anyway. I don't know if that's actually what happened or not, but that's the ideal. So we as beings are we're no different from the gods we work with. We're identical to them. We are just focused on this meat bag, and that limits our astral awareness of what is. We think this is all we are, and the sooner you stop thinking that, the farther you can go, the faster you can go. And it will mostly be internal. It'll mostly be internal. I'm not going to be able to say, this is now blue to you, and just make it happen for you. I've got to convince you that it's blue for that to happen for you. So you're living in your own reality bubble. I'm living in my own identified reality bubble. Our alters are having this experience of separation, but they're one thing. They're ultimately one thing that's agreeing upon what they experience, and it creates a reality. So when we're looking in the astral, we are actually looking in our own subjective bubble for an astral experience. The spiritual entities that we see there, they're not perfect either, because they're not embodied. The idea is of true ascension, because ascension's a long road, right? Ascension's like, have it in this lifetime. Well, you can get pieces of it. You can get pieces of ascension, no question. Will you live long enough to be fully ascended in this body? I question, I wonder. Maybe if quantum immortality is real and we don't really ever die, we just go on living forever, maybe. But no, I think that full ascension is something that happens when you get a being that is not only capable of seeing the astral perfectly, but also seeing the material perfectly for what it is, without delusion. When you can do both, you are now a fully integrated God form. And you fart and universes get created in the breeze, right? And I've got to say it like that, because there's another flaw with how humans are. We think that that's better. It's not. If it was better, you'd already be that, because you were already Source. Source would have willed it already that right now J.D. Temple and D.H. Thorne are fully invoked gods and can fart universes into experience anytime that they want. But it doesn't want that yet. It wants to have the journey and the experience of becoming that. The right-hand path says, join with me and you can have that. The left-hand path says, do it your fucking self and recognize you're already that, or become it. Either one's fine. And I'm gonna stop ranting now because I just realized that like I feel like that guy who's like standing out and like everyone just like stopped, and I feel like the guy who's like just pissed himself on stage. But
oh God.
But that's why I make it like less divine sounding, because people have this stupid idea that enlightenment is better than non-enlightenment. You're already enlightened, you just don't know it. You're already a god, you just don't know it. Stop thinking it's got to be some kind of perfection. Stop trying to think it's got to be some kind of perfect experience. Your bad experiences of late is a beautiful, perfect experience, and it's exactly what it needs to be. And that goes to everybody listening to me right now. I don't care what the fuck happened to you. That is exactly what you, as divinity, decided needed to be for you to have the most blissful and badass experience you can possibly have. Don't fight it. And that's what I told you last night. I fought it, and I failed at everything I wanted to do. The moment I said, fuck it, I'll just be a nurseryman for the rest of my life and never achieve anything, and just relaxed and just lived my life to the fullest as best I could with the meager ends that I had, holy shit, next thing I know, I'm a fucking, semi-famous whatever the fuck I am now. And I'm living this life, and I'm self-employed, and I'm getting to know fucking incredible people like you, incredible people like EA, incredible people like Behemoth X, fucking just people that blow me the fuck away. And it's just, I couldn't have asked my wife. I'll put her on another time. You can ask her the difference in my life now to 3 years ago. So
that's beautiful, man.
I'm done. I need a drink.
Hell yeah.
So, did that make sense to anybody else but me?
No, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna take one too, man.
Yeah, right? I can't drink anything good. I can only drink like fucking, I don't like vodka. I'm not Russian enough.
I like some good like potato vodka. Some like, what is it? Like Luskova or some shit. I don't even know how you say it, but
yeah.
I used to love vodka, but I mean, I like bourbon now, but I really don't drink anymore sometimes, but I try not to,
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, like I like stuff with wormwood in it, hint, hint. But, because I'm on keto, I can't touch that stuff right now. I can only have and I'm not much on drinking. I told you that last night. It's so unusual for me to be drunk anymore. It costs too much. But because I'm on keto, maybe I'll be able to get drunk a little bit easier again because I won't have this giant liver that takes up half my body like I have right now. So that'll probably go away. So, yeah, so you and I were talking about a lot of stuff last night that would be coming for you in particular. Like you're going to be building up what you've been doing again. You're still offering services and stuff, right? You got your
yeah, I just added a shit ton of them to my website. Like I didn't do anything with my website at all for like last 2 years, and it was like really shitty, and I just didn't give a fuck. But now, since that's really my only platform, I needed to do something with it. And so, I think I probably have at least like 15 different rituals on there, and consultations and like healing sessions and stuff like that. And, I need to still improve upon it, but it's a start, so yeah, I'm going to be.
We'll have to integrate some things in the future and work on some things together, like as we go forward as friends and everything. And we'll see where we end up. Like where does that go? Like where do we end up when we're done? Like what do you visualize being the final? Here lays D.H. Thorne and J.D. Temple. How do you see that in your life? Yeah, you don't have to tell the audience, but like that's what I try to think about. Where do I see? Everything going in what we do. I know it's somewhere up here, I know I'm heading somewhere up. I just don't know where it ends. And that's
I feel like we don't have a choice really, I think it's beyond you and I both. I mean, yeah, we could be total lazy fucks and not do shit, but I feel that like the spirits are not going to let that happen. They're going to make you do what you got to do one way or the other, because I just really feel like it's, in so many ways, like I really feel like I have an important job to do and I need to fucking do it. And I've been like playing at it for the last few years, but it's time to like really get serious about it and really figure out like what is my purpose? What am I really supposed to do? And I need to embrace it and just really fully embrace it and, jump off the fucking side of the cliff into the abyss.
I love that. Because what are you doing when you're sacrificing yourself to your what you are, right? I love that jumping off the cliff. I love that because in my heart and my mind, I see this guy who's like, here's who I am, right? I'm this dude. I got this body, and here's this cliff of reality that I think is real. I'm going to sacrifice that whole illusion for the safety illusion too, because it's safety. You know what it is, to leap off into the unknown and just do away with what you are. And whether you smack onto some rocks below or you fly, either way, you've entered a whole new reality, haven't you? You've entered a whole new truth about yourself. I mean, it's such a people don't that's the thing. Like with my mind's eye, I picture these things. To me, it's beautiful when people say it. They don't know what they're saying is a beautiful thing half the time. They just don't know. They have no idea what they're saying is beautiful. And sometimes I love that. And you're positioned perfectly for that cliff. You're literally positioned in a perfect place. You're
at the point where it's just like I have nothing to fucking lose now,
Yeah, and you're about to take your business back together. You're starting to get that figured out with the debt and everything.
Yeah,
you're going to be a free agent again soon, man.
Yeah,
fully.
I'm ready for that, man. I'm ready to move and ready to just experience life in a whole different fucking way and just get out of this rut and this stagnation and just really fucking really truly fucking live. Really fucking feel like what it is to be alive and to be vital again and to be relevant again. That's what I want to be, relevant again, because I was so irrelevant for so long. I was just existing as this half-ass version of myself that was lackluster to say the least, and that is just unacceptable to me.
Yes, man. Hold on one second. I got a message here.
Yeah.
All right. I sort of missed a little bit of what you said because I had to deal with that. All right. Fixed.
Yeah, let me grab another one of these pastuques or whatever they're called. I don't know. You knew how to say it. I can't remember how you say it.
What was it again? Oh yeah, I have to seal it.
Watermelon LaCroix.
Yeah, LaCroix sounds right. LaCroix. I think my wife speaks better French than I do, which would probably piss off my French ancestors very much. Actually, Yepson, how do you say it? Thank you, Tree Marie. I appreciate that. There's no such thing as relevance or irrelevance, really, if you think about it. There's only attention. It's just attention. Let's see. Yepson, oh, dude, what are you doing? Are you paying me so that you can be blue? Is that what that's for? Have no interesting question. Chat's got that covered. Just want to say I'm enjoying the hell out of the stream, you guys. Dude, you're blue now. Now I got to pay you that. I got to split that with you somehow. That's not. I appreciate that, brother. I love you very much. What are we gonna play tomorrow night? We should get back into doing our video game streams. I know it would really suck because then it would be you'd probably hear me saying all kinds of shit I shouldn't say. We'll have to play a game tomorrow night. We'll do something fun. Yeah, so let's go back to some of these questions because I still got a little bit. How much you got in you? You still got plenty of energy in you?
Oh, I'm not doing shit. I mean, I don't have any plans for the night. Other than to pet kitties and I don't know what else. So
my wife wants a kitty. I'd love to have a kitty again. Like I told you, I'd love that. But this house would just something would die. I don't know if it'd be the cat or the other 10 of my pets, but something would happen. Okay, this is a good question. This was asked by Drucifer earlier on. I'm going to let you do this because I've never done this one the way you have. I have gone to people like I described to you, but I've never evoked another person. So, Drucifer asked to both, I'd like to ask the differences for evoking a living spirit versus an astral one. I'm going to shut up. Go.
Well, I think you have to have an iron fucking will, and you do have to kind of get somewhat forceful with it because it's not. I feel like there's a difference in evoking a spirit that is accustomed to being evoked and that it already kind of has an idea of how the mechanics of that works and how the function and the form of that is versus a living person that that whole dynamic, I guess that's not something that like normally happens. So you
Right.
have to put a little more oomph and gusto into that. And you have to have more patience too, I think, because it usually does take a little bit longer for that to happen. And I mean, I guess the good thing is, though, is that when a living person does show up, so to speak, you can really feel it in a very powerful way. Like it's so overwhelming that there's no denying it. You know, it's one of those things where like when you evoke a spirit, it's like sometimes you're not sure. Are they there? They're not there. I don't know. Am I just like fucking thinking this in my head? I'm not really feeling anything. I don't know. Like what the fuck's going on? But when you evoke a living person, there's no denying that that energy is there because
You had told me like when I was preparing for it, you're like, well, you need to be asleep. I'm like, well, I can meditate. Like that'll do, but you really were like not disappointed, but you were definitely like it would have been better in your mind for sure if I was sleeping, and there's a good reason for that as I understand it. So you go ahead and I mean you tell why you think that's important, and I probably agree with it.
I think that there's going to be less resistance there. If you're asleep, there's going to be less resistance, of course, and like your conscious mind is shut off. And so,
what I would say is that your embodied mind, you're the same consciousness that hasn't shifted. It's that your awareness is no longer locked on your body because your body's doing it. It's in maintenance
that's
mode.
A good point. Yeah.
So if you were sleeping, because when you're sleeping, I fully believe that you're astral traveling every night when you're sleeping, and you don't remember most of it. Because that experience doesn't translate to a physical memory the way physical memories translate the other way. Like in other words, it's easier to take a physical memory and make it astral than it is to take an astral memory and make it physical, if that makes sense. So that's why you'll have whack-ass dreams when you wake up, because you wake up and you're remembering what you experienced in the astral, but there's no corollary to the real world. So you just take weird shit and just stuff it together. And like, I've said many times.
What my favorite dreams are?
What's that?
So you know what my favorite kind of dreams are?
No, what?
Hot chicks fucking me.
Oh, whoa. This is a PG-45 show, my friend.
Oh, is it really
PG? Or is it NC-76? I don't know, but either way. I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer in the front. What a beautiful kid.
We can edit this out.
No, we're cool. I'm being funny. I should start putting at the beginning of all my videos like what South Park does. This is suitable for nobody. Don't bother. Like, just don't watch this shit.
Well, I just gotta be honest with you. Like
my favorites are. I like horror dreams. I love horror dreams. Those are cool.
What do you mean, like being chased by chainsaw massacres and shit?
That's the fucked up thing. I have nightmare, like bad dreams. Bad dreams are like somebody, like my wife and I fight. That's a bad dream.
Oh yeah, fuck that sucks.
A horror dream, a nightmare. What other people, probably the people here wouldn't feel this way, because most of the people here would probably be like, yeah, I'm the same way. But like to the average normal person, like a nightmare is like getting, like you said, chased by a guy with a chainsaw, or zombies or aliens abducting people.
Oh god, I had this Walking Dead fucking dream so much.
I love those dreams with a passion, especially when they're really dangerous and I feel like I'm getting killed. Oh man.
Oh my god, hell no, I hate that shit.
See, I'm down with that shit. Like my favorite dreams are like the Terminators are marching down the street, and I'm the guy with the last brick of C4, and I'm like, motherfucker! and instead of dying, like I find out by doing that I'm a Highlander and I'm immortal and I can. Here we are, and I just slash them all to death. Like that's my kind of shit right there. I love that stuff. Or flying dreams.
God, dude, you fucking kidding me, man.
But they're not always that cool. Watch my last stream on dreams, dude. They're not, like, remember the last one I talked about? It was the two fat dudes in the big weird apartment complex with their asses smacking together, and I had to walk through it for some reason. Like, all right, that wasn't one of my favorite dreams. I'll just put it that way.
Oh my god, Jesus! I love it.
But I don't really have nightmares, and sex dreams are like, I don't know. They don't do it for me as much as like they might have when I was a teenager. Like I'm not, saying I hate them or anything like that. And it's not just because my wife's in the room, but it's not really. It doesn't do it for me like that. They're just, I feel like I'm like of that mentality where human base urges, when allowed to become the focus of your attention, is not bad, but it's a distraction from the integration of those things. And the higher stuff is what I'm into. Like I like having dreams where aliens abduct me and they teach me magic, or they take me to the stars and we explore planets. I like dreams where I realize that if I hold my breath a certain way and lift my feet off the ground, I can hover around and float around the room. I like weird dreams like that. Like, to me, that's like, give me one of those dreams every night, and I probably won't wake up anymore. So that's my thing. The people fucking is like, yeah, that's cool.
I don't know. That's just what I like, I guess, you know. And I don't know why. You know, maybe I'm fucked up in some kind of way or something, but you know,
I think that's perfectly normal. I think it's perfectly normal. Let's take the legitimate feeling of fucked up completely out of our repertoire of language. Let's say fucked up in the comical sense, but not fucked up in the literal sense. No.
Yeah.
You know, like, not even the slightest.
It's natural. It's only natural.
It's only natural. It's part of your biology is just saying, hey, look, I got this urge. I got this reason. You've got your own reason for it. Your higher self is urging you to be that way. And that's not a thing to be ashamed of. It's a thing to integrate that shadow, integrate that fucker, and not be ashamed of it, and learn to make it work for you, which you've sort of done, right? You've made your, you know, exactly. So don't, if just because I'm like, no, that's not me, don't worry about that, dude. I'm not judging. I don't do that game that way. Maybe if you said I like having dreams where I fuck little kids, okay, yeah, then I'd probably,
no.
That would be wrong. Okay, bleep that out, honey. Bleep that out. But yeah. So it's not.
Yeah, I haven't had any of those. Thank goodness. Like I would wake up and like beat the shit out of myself or something. But
right, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. But I mean, you know, like I don't know, dreams of like being like totally in love with someone, that's probably like the best. That's probably like the most beautiful, you know, like
not bad. No, I know what you mean. Like, you wake up and you still feel that love for that person.
Yeah, you're like have that like that heartache and shit. And you're just like,
no, that I know that one.
Fucking heartache, like, oh my god, like what the fuck, like please, like come to me, like shit.
Right? Yeah, I won't put that on the top shelf, but that's definitely like right below flying. Like that. I'll give you that. Those are cool dreams. Like when I wake up and I go, I love my wife, you know, or I love my dog, or you know, those kind of things are great. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? All right, let's go. So invoking a person is different. They're more powerful. It helps when they're sleeping. Is there any technique to it you have to be more forceful, you said? Is there any more technique to it that's like, you know, because when I saw you do it, it was more internal for you. Like there wasn't sigils, it wasn't magic words, it was just you built up an energy in yourself, paced around the fire.
Yeah.
And you were just like
God within you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You really have to like embody that fucking God within you, and you have to kind of like strut around like a fucking rooster, you know? You have to just be like, yeah, like I'm doing this. This is fucking happening. This is gonna fucking happen, and it's gonna happen exactly the way that I need it to, so that this can fucking unfold the way it should. And you just have to like, it's like a very ancient fucking feeling. Like when I do that, I really feel like I step back in time, and that it's such a it's ancient is the best way I can put it. Like I feel like I've become someone else.
I know what you're saying though. Like I sort of know what you're saying, because I have 2 or 3 like ritual settings and modes that I like. I like my little organized temple. I like my simple things. I like taking my staff in the middle of nowhere, and I love the bonfire rituals where I'll just go and just
nature is the shit, man.
Yeah.
And in bare feet, I don't wear shoes when I do it, so I'm like really in touch with the earth. I think that that's a big part of it. I feel like maybe that a big part of it is like being outside and being in touch with the earth, and like really getting into that like living spirit of the earth, and like really communing with that deeply, because, you know, like we come from the earth. I feel like, you know, our bodies do. We're like so part of that living spirit, more so than we even realize. And when we really kind of embrace it, we become so much more powerful than we ever could have like imagined. And so I just really resonate with these outdoor rituals so fucking much. And especially like where that correlates with the ayahuasca experience. You know, like Mother Aya really brings you back to like your roots, and like where you came from, and what you really fucking are. And I just like can't help but like just want to like go deeper and deeper into that, and then to like express it in any kind of fucking way that I can. And so, you know, that like former life shaman in me, it's just like I kind of like I feel like I reconnect with who I was, or who I, you know, who I used to be in a former life or something of that nature. I really feel like I tap back into that primal ancient energy of this bad motherfucker that I was in a former life, and I get to like be that person again.
You're gonna love Become the Maelstrom. I talk about tapping into your true sorcerer self, like your higher self, basically. But it's your sorcerer persona, like really, is so important, and that's often a sign of someone who's gotten quite a lot of experience, because most people, you watch their rituals and they're just kind of like a dead fish blurping around the words, and they're doing this and that. They haven't invoked a sorcerer's self, and it shows. Then I have people who are like natural talents. They've never done magic before, and they just know, like, I've got to do this with feeling, and I've got to feel like I'm powerful when I'm doing this. And sometimes that makes them aggressive, sometimes it makes them passive and quiet, but you can feel that they've got this sense of, no, this is going to happen. This is what it needs to be. And that I got, like, when I watched it, I was like 100%. Like, this was like, wow, this guy JD is normally so not like agreeable in like a bad way, but he's so agreeable and just so like hard on his sleeve. But when you were there, like, come DH Thorne, I'm like, okay, I'm coming, relax. You know, you know, it had this finality to it, and it was like, I was like, yeah, this guy knows how to invoke that commanding self. Like you said, like you're invoking an old self, like a prior self. You're invoking that truth, and you're using that to manifest your will, and that's a rare quality. Not a lot of people do that. You know, a lot of people are just mumbly people when they do it. You know, and nothing wrong with it when they do it that way. But I like watching that. Like, to me, that's a really cool way to do things. And it definitely had that. Like, I really almost wish that you had a full forest around you, and that you were in a place you didn't have cars running around.
Oh yeah, because like I definitely felt like a little reserved because of that. You know, like I try to like, you know, separate from that and just like, you know, act like that is not happening around me. Mm-hmm. But I can't help but still feel like a little apprehensive that like the cops are going to show up any second.
Or some lady's going to drive by and ask if your house is on fire.
Yeah, I could not believe that shit. I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, I was really trying to just ignore the lady, and I was hoping she was just going to give up and go away, but she would not stop. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, you know, and like there's the whole aspect too of like the sacrifice, you know, like, yeah. And it's so crazy because, you know, when I get them, I hold them, and I, you know, just like I hold this kitty right here, and I fucking love her, you know, so much. And I hold them and I cradle them and shit. I give them some food, I give them some water, and, you know, really try to like take care of them and connect with them, so that like I really feel like when I do this, it's really going to be hard.
Yep. But I felt it, dude, because I'm an animal lover. And when I was like, for me, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like a rejection in a way, like on my part. It's like, you know, not even am I worthy of that, but it's like, but then I felt better. That's the part I didn't tell the crowd, is like, I also had a little bit more happen, and I told you, and you laughed when you heard that part with the chicken in my astral space. I was like, you gave me a pet astral chicken, and it's like, you know, I felt a little better, but it's totally. And then I remembered my own fucking writing about the nature of sacrifice, and it's a reminder that this is temporary. This doesn't matter. This is matter, and matter doesn't matter.
And what's crazy, it's like, you get a sense of that they know what's going to happen, and they're okay with it, because mm-hmm. when you take them, you know, I mean, you know, I grab their 2 feet like this, and I lay them down on that block that I have. They actually lay down and relax, and they actually like they accept their purpose at that point.
Yeah.
And you cannot help but connect with that and feel it, and know that they know this is the finality of it, and that like their life is actually going to like really fucking mean something. They're not just going to be like roaming around pecking at shit and like laying eggs like a fucking machine. Their life is gonna fucking like actually be used for something that is fucking like beautiful and magical and like really unique. Like
yeah.
It's really, I mean, and when I first started doing that right, I had a little bit of a hard time with it, but to be honest with you now, like I don't have a problem with it. I did 5 of them last night, and does that make me a bad person? Does that make me a fucking monster because I can just be like, fuck it, bow, I don't give a shit? No, like I connect with that creature. I connect with its fucking soul, and like it's not like it's something that's like against its will. Like I can feel that it is totally fucking willing to fucking do this.
Well, a big part of the sacrifice isn't that animal, because that animal's not, in the way you're describing it, the animal's sacrificing nothing. You're the one who's sacrificing, because you are taking that emotional pain, because it's still there. You're just not. You've turned it into something you can understand, but there's still a piece of you that says, I am still doing this. It's a final act. This is. A part of me goes, I love this creature. I want to make sure its last moments are good. So you're actually, in a way, yes, the life energy of the chicken or whatever is being done is given to the being. But that emotional energy that you're giving is also going deeply into it, whether you recognize it or not. Even you're also serving yourself, because you're making yourself aware that this material doesn't matter. The spirit is what matters. And you're sacrificing another piece of that attachment to self that you may not be aware of. So like I hunt, right? Not much anymore, but I've hunted a few times, and I don't have a trophy wall. I've got a few things in my life I've killed and eaten and stuff. And
I've never done that. I want to do that one day.
I still I show a lot of reverence when I do. I cry like half the time when I kill. I cry. I can't help it. Like I watch this and I go right up to it. I watch it. And I make sure my eyes are on its eyes when it's going. And I just, I try to send as much love as I can towards it and go, I don't think about that I'm going to eat it. I just look at it in a way. I try to absolve my own guilt by caring about it. I don't know how to explain it. And that's kind of a shadow I'm still dealing with. Like, I don't like feeling that guilt for doing it. Like I would easily convert to vegan, except I like to eat meat too much and I don't have a problem with it. But I would easily convert otherwise. I mean, like if you look in an animal's eyes, if you don't see a divinity as well, like what the fuck's wrong with you? Like even an insect, like I look at a bug and I'm like, as long as you're not biting me, you got all the fucking right in the world to be here as much as I do. And it's almost kind of like I'm like a softie. I guess I am a softie, but
you're a teddy bear, man.
I'm a teddy bear. Yeah. Unless I don't like you, then I'm a grizzly bear. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's one of those things like I hesitated when you asked me for 2 reasons, and it was I have this mentality of, well, if it's being eaten, that's okay to me, because if it's being eaten, then it's really a food product, and I'm rationalizing it like the people do, where they will do a goat and the whole community will eat that goat and stuff. And so I'm rationalizing it that way, and that's why I asked you that second question. Well, if I don't accept it, will you still be doing it? And you said yes. Then I'm like, fuck yeah, send it to me then. Like if it's gonna happen, I consider it an inevitable thing. It's not my saying don't do it. What are you going to do? Just not do it? Now you got a chicken you got to live with for your whole life?
Yeah, well, I was going to sacrifice it to Baruch, that healing spirit that I work with, and I was so fucking glad that you said yes, because part of me was really apprehensive to even offer it, because that's a really intimate thing, and how people are in this community. People are fucked up and they have like fucked up intentions, and they'll like do, I mean, you can do fucked up shit with that right that is nefarious just as much as you can to do it in the proper way.
I don't mean to sound cocky, but I probably wouldn't worry.
Well, you know what I mean,
No, so, I do know what you mean. Like, but that's it's a question of.
It's like I didn't like know you that well yet, and it was like I kind of felt kind of like that maybe you were gonna think that I was trying to do some kind of fucked up shit to you, and
no, I read you well enough
to and so I was like, wow, like that's awesome that he is like that he trusts me enough to say yes, that we can do this, because like we've both been through the ringer with other sorcerers and shit, and like I know how they are, and there's a lot of like really fuck motherfuckers out there that would do some fucked up shit like that through the guise of like trying to build a brotherhood, but they really just want to like,
sure,
fuck you over some kind of way, or like fuck you up some kind of way, or break
be
you down.
so self-serving that it's.
And
like,
I'm glad that you didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Like it really made me feel good that you didn't have that thought. Maybe if you did for a minute, maybe you didn't. I don't know, but that you ultimately were like, yeah, I was like, cool.
Because you're one of those people. You're mostly an open book, and the things that you keep internal, I still see well enough to know that they're not a problem. So I look at you and I go, no, this guy's cool. I
would never fucking do that shit.
No,
man.
I didn't believe.
I have a hard time doing shit like that to people that I fucking can't fucking stand.
Yes.
And
I feel that fully. And so it was never a matter of trust with me. But I would also say I'm not worried. I mean, people sling curses at me all day long. I'm sure I have a few.
Oh, absolutely. Every fucking day, dude. And that's always going to be.
Even non-magicians do it. I mean, you don't have to be a mage to fucking sling a curse at somebody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to, even with that, in one way, I'm glad I was awake for it, because then if it was, if you were a bastard, I would have been more aware and I could have said, what the fuck are you doing? But, no, I don't feel like that was ever, and I'm not just saying it, but I didn't feel even for a minute. Like the moment I started talking to you, even in chat, I'm like, no, this guy wants a friend, and I want friends, and that's what I'm here for. I'm as much as I like making money on doing these, I want friends. I want people that I can trust, that I can talk to about my own questions about these things. There's not many, there's not a lot of people. I do a lot of the talking, but sometimes I'm talking so much as I want to hear what you think. I'm like, here, let me tell you everything I believe, and then I'll judge your responses to see whether you agree or don't. I've told you that before. I have an overactive throat chakra. I listen by talking. I say too much, and then how people respond to that, their body language, do they get bored of me talking? Are they engaged with what I'm saying? Do they think I'm wrong? Are they showing those? That's how I read my own gnosis. That's how I get a feel for whether I'm right or not. So it's not like I'm a one-way, mirror or something. I mean, I'm always engaged. It's just a question of, can I shut myself up? It's like nervous laughter. It's like I can't stop talking. So you can help me with that. Do a spiritual hearing right here.
I'll do my, well, no, I mean, but that's who you are, though. I would never want to change that. And I don't think that that's a problem at all. That's what makes all of us unique. And like, I'm, part of what I love about you. So, it's all good, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're one of those people I look forward to. Did he message me yet? It's a good feeling. So we'll keep it up. And I'm glad that we finally got this chance to start.
I know. Me too, dude. Me too.
So, I mean, I don't know. We got a lot to talk about in the future about what we're going to do together as we start hanging out more. And, I'd like to make you another person I'd like to join forces with a little bit, and, maybe do some stuff together. I'd love to meet you in person, dude. I have a feeling we'd have probably sleep. What the fuck is that? We'd probably spend, like me and Ian, probably spend days just talking.
If I come up to see you, we got to go to an Islanders hockey game, though.
I'll go, but I'm not much into sports, but I do like hockey when I go. Like, I do enjoy watching it when I go.
Hockey's awesome, dude. I grew up playing hockey, and, like, I actually played professional inline hockey for...
Did you?
4 years, yeah.
Wow.
Richmond Robins, yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's impressive. I had a friend who was really, really into, because Long Island has a lot of hockey on it, I guess. Long Island's like it's the hockey island. We had the Ducks, and we had all that. I had a friend who was part of all that stuff, and he even went to England at one point for games or something. It was something expensive, but he wasn't like a pro, but it was a major minor league or whatever the hell you would call it. I don't know. I'm not a sports guy, right? To me, it's like, what do you?
Not really. It's just all, it's only. I mean, I don't follow hockey anymore, but I still, I still go to hockey games every now and again, like some Washington Capitals games and shit. And I like, the energy is just fucking awesome,
Yeah, I hear that, man. I definitely hear that. I mean, that's like I tell people, I am not like, you put sports on TV, turn that off. I'm trying to watch something intelligent here. But if I go to a game, like, people are like, oh, we know who won. I'm like, yeah, but why do you want to leave? I want to see how it ends. Like, but yeah, but they're not. I'm like, no, I want to soak it all up. I enjoy the spectacle. It's like how I like going to the movies more too. Oh my God, a bing bong. Who's the bing bong here? Ducks is minor league baseball. Okay, I'm stupid. It's not the Ducks. Thank you, honey.
But he loves goalie mask. I was a goalie too, so like that's fucking awesome.
My
Yeah.
friend was a goalie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so fucking fun. It's like it's the best shit ever, man. Like, you get into that fucking zone, man. You get that fucking hot hand, and you're just like, every move you make is fucking like spot on, and it's just like so fluid, and it's just like, it's a art form within itself as well, and I really enjoyed that shit. But once I had kids, when my first daughter was born, I had to hang it up because I was gone every weekend and all that shit, and I had to stop doing that. But
you've had an incredible life, dude. Like when you said like you were making all that money, I'm like, really? Like I never would have known, because you're very down to earth, like so many people like in this, in this current are. Never would have known that you were making, like you had a business like that, and you were doing,
I had like 30 employees, and like my first 18 months in business, we did $2.5 million. And,
wow, man, wow.
But of course, when you're building a business like that, it didn't mean that I had any fucking money, but my company was but that's one of those things where it's just like I realized that like I'm not the kind of person that can be a big time business owner like that, because you have to be a piece of shit, ruthless ass motherfucker that doesn't even care about people or anything about them at all.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way that you can do it, is to just be like so cold-hearted that all you care about is the bottom line, and you don't really care about the people that work for you, because if you do too much, they don't respect you.
True.
And that's what happened to me. I cared way too much, and everybody just they knew that. They knew they could get away with anything. They knew that they like said the right things to me, that I'd give them anything that they wanted, and then they just started taking everything all the time, and that really made me go into a dark place.
It sucks, dude. I know exactly, because I noticed like when I was made supervisor, suddenly all the people who were my friends weren't my friends. Like, they were, but it was like,
he's just so prick now.
Yeah. Even though I didn't change at all, but it was like, I had to, and that's why I like doing the spiritual thing. And if I ever built anything like an order or a movement or anything, it would always be with this intention of making it not like that. Like I can't imagine, controlling what, I don't know what to say, man. I have my own ideas that I feel. I'm not a businessman. I'm a spiritual person who just wants to make sure I have money, that I can do my spiritual work.
Yeah.
And I see you in a similar way. Like, I could see you owning like a fucking, like a apothecary or something, a fucking, raise occult books, same kind of thing I would do.
I would love that so much, man. Like when I had the warehouse that I used to live in and run my business out of, my main vision for it was to make like a spiritual center out of it, and I was going to have 12 different temples within that facility, and like each of the like demons that I work with are going to have their own temple, and people could come there and like experience it, and I could do like weekend like retreats there and stuff. Like I really wanted to do that so fucking bad.
I've noticed that a lot of people doing what we do, there's a streak of lonesomeness in us. There's a streak of solemn isolation.
Yeah.
We're not like other people, right? We're not the same. There's something that's not a nasty judgment. It's just we see the world with different eyes. We have that Odinic eye. We have that one eye's pulled out. And we see the world a different way, and it's hard to relate to average people.
Yeah.
And so what do we always want to do? We always want to start, whatever, a camp, an organization, a commune, a temple, some way to have. What do Christians? What do? They want that communion with one another. That's what they want. So
I think constantly fucking lonely, and just like my heart is just bleeding for connection, and like I want to be able to like allow other people to have these experiences that I've had, and to like see that gleam in their eyes that like they get it, and like to be able to like give that gift to them is like everything to me.
I got a student like that. He's finally getting some things. Like he's a newbie in a way. He knows things, he's practiced things before. He's more satanic than anything, and he's loving my work. And he's not. He didn't have the confidence, and he finally started having results after about a month or two of my working with him. He finally got it, and he starts getting results, and not just results in his manifestation. I mean, results in getting contact with spirits. He can feel them. He feels like he feels them now. He's getting it.
That's awesome. That's so beautiful.
It is, and I told. He's like, oh, I got so mad because I said things wrong in that one thing. I'm like, no, you fucking fool. You don't get it. It was beautiful. Your ritual was beautiful. It was so solemn and beautiful. I don't care if you said the wrong words. It was perfect. And, I keep telling, and now he's like, he did something today that I'm proud of him for, because, I mean, he's a good guy, but he's got his issues. And today he got a thing done that he's been trying to do for months. And it was a ritual he did last night, almost the same time you did yours for me. It was within like an hour of each other. The dude sends me a picture of I'm like, fuck yes, now go do the mundane part, get it done. He did it. He texted me today. I did it, and I'm like, yes, motherfucker, yes. Yes. Like now you've graduated. Get out of here. Let's just be friends now. And it's like, that to me, that's mint. That's like the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the best, man. There's nothing better. There really isn't anything better. And like, that's all the things we're saying right now are like the last shit that anybody that thinks about black magic would ever fucking think about. That they'd be like, what the fuck is this? Like, these black magicians are talking about like, being proud of people and really trying to like help them to like commune spiritually and to like make themselves the best versions of themselves and to like really, really connect. Like, what is that all about? They would think that is like that.
It's a beautiful paradox, dude. The most humane and considerate and compassionate people that I've known in a long time are on this path.
Yeah.
And the lack of taboos and the lack of morality causes a sense of real compassion. I don't know how or why, but it does. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again and again and again. If you stop trying to be moral, if you stop trying to care, if you stop trying to be compassionate, and you just be a selfish, because you're not. Most people are not selfish pricks, really. We do things for selfish reasons, yes. But we're not really just that. Maybe someone's a narcissist. Maybe somebody who's they got a screw loose, they're dead eyes, okay? Yeah, maybe they are. Most people are not that. Most people have a heart, we're empathic, we feel, and we know that if we help others, we're helping ourselves. So there is that selfish angle. Yeah. But that energy I feel when I see him getting it is worth all of the effort. Like, fuck the money. I enjoyed watching that. Like, he doesn't even know. I'm like, your rituals are beautiful and they're simple and they're beautiful. I don't fucking care.
That's the real payoff, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's not even like I'm so altruistic. I'll strangle him out the next day. Fine. But I'm joking. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I loved that. I loved that so much. And
no shit. I get the same thing with some of the people that I work with, and I'm like so proud of them, and I'm just like, God damn it, I fucking love you so much. Like. Mm-hmm. You have no idea, like, how fulfilling you make my life. Because
that's a Luciferian energy right there. People don't realize that's this guy. This motherfucker, when people achieve liberation, he feels that like it's him again. Like, I'm free again. It becomes him. He's invoked by that freedom. Star Ruby, thank you very much for that generous donation. We're going to flip that 999 around and make it into the holy number of 666. The sun, baby, the solar energy of love and liberation and light. Thank you very much, Soul.
God, I feel it, man. I fucking feel that shit.
Hell
yeah. It's so good. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking good.
We had a good question for you. I don't think you saw it because it must be too small for you. Lucas Vos asked, are you still doing that camp or whatever it was? Something about a camp service. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be doing that really soon. And, I'm thinking I'm probably only going to have like one person over at a time because I don't want it to be, something to where there's just like too many different energies and that kind of thing. But, it's going to be something to where it would be like $950 for like 2 days, and like 3 days would be like, maybe like $1250, something like that. But we would be doing like 6 to 8 hours of fucking magic and grounding and just hanging out and shit, as well, and like exploring like some of the cool things around here. But I would cook awesome fucking food too.
How much is this again?
Yeah, yeah, it would be awesome, So you would be able to like, really kind of like live the lifestyle that I live with me and like really immerse yourself into some really fucking awesome shit. Like, you know, teach you energy work, whatever it is that you want to fucking learn that I'm able to fucking give to you. That's what we'll fucking do. And I'll pick you up from the airport, I'll take you back to the airport. As long as you're not an axe murderer, you can even stay here in the guest fucking bedroom. So I want to make it affordable and I want to make it something that, is actually doable for people to where there's not all these extra expenses involved. Because like when I went to go see EA in 2016 and do like his boot camp, that was like the game changer for me. And I really like have so much gratitude for him for that. And his was a little bit different. I mean, of course, like I had a hotel room and, I think I would see him from like 8 to like 3 every day or something like that. And that was totally cool, but I mean, I'm going to be making myself like more accessible and more available than that to where you'll be able to, really be able to get to know me on a deeper, more intimate level, than what's offered there, I guess. But, is it a little bit dangerous when I put myself out there? Yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
but
we live in Virginia. Just keep a loaded,
there's plenty of those everywhere in here, absolutely. But, of course, I mean, I would be vetting everybody, pretty hardcore that would be coming to do this. Before the whole COVID thing, I have these cabins that are in the mountains at, what is it? Oh, Douthit State Park. And it was going to be a little more expensive because you would have your own cabin and I'd have my own cabin, but we would be doing things like in the mountains and in the cabin and that kind of stuff. But that's been closed since of COVID. And now that I have this whole big ass house all to myself and all of this room, I'm like, hey, I would love to fucking do that. And it's the same thing, like, with your students, like you get that sense of fulfillment of like seeing them have these spiritual experiences and really like integrating that into their lives and having these like aha fucking moments, like I really want to be able to do that for people because nothing gives me more fucking joy and fulfillment than to like see other people like expand and grow, especially over the course of like 2 or 3 days, and it happens. It does. Like that shit unlocks something within me that I gave myself permission to become what I've become now through that experience with him. And I really feel like I can do that for other people too. And that's something that I want to do. And I really do want to fucking do that. Yeah.
In a lot of ways, the power we get from what we do isn't to necessarily manifest our desires into the world. It is a clarity of understanding of what experience means. And it's an ability to share that with people so that they can untangle the rat's nest that they've got of their own sense of self and awareness. And when you can get somebody to, see what they need to see, I mean, it's that energy. It's like any tension when that energy gets released. It's empowering to everybody involved. It's like it's like you've pulled that trampoline and let it go, and all the little marbles go everywhere, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that it's the only thing I like, but I would resonate with that. Like if I had let's talk Fantasy Island level shit here right now. Like what would I do? If I had my druthers, I'd have a beautiful place in the mountains, like the equivalent of a Buddhist temple for fucking satanic Luciferian motherfuckers.
Yes.
It would be a beautiful place. It would be. It would have a video game room because why the fuck not? But otherwise, it would be a gorgeous temple. People would be able to come to it, and I'd be there. I'd have people there that I trusted with their teachings, their own piece of the river that they understand, shit that I don't understand. Be like, you teach people shamanism, you teach people that, you teach people this, and people will just come.
If you ever do that, I will be there, and I will definitely teach them shamanism, and I will fucking love it, dude.
I told you, give me like 10 years, I'll be so burnt out on content creation, I'll have to.
Fuck yeah, dude. And I think, I'm going to try very, very hard for, my boot camp, if the person is open to it, mine is going to involve psychedelics of some sort as well.
And I would agree with that. I mean, it's not, fuck the law. I'm not going to get, of course, for YouTube censors and for the government that may be watching, I don't condone nor whatever. I don't think you should be doing any of that shit, because if I say it's even okay, you're going to fucking get me sued. But in reality, I fully endorse the legalization, especially of those substances, more than almost anything else.
Yeah.
To the point where these are not, they're not recreational drugs like some other things are. And I'm not even opposed to that per se. But they're not. And if they're approached from that spiritual perspective, I've never met anyone who approached them with a spiritual perspective who hurt themselves. I've never seen it happen. It doesn't. In fact, people even use it for recreation rarely hurt themselves. That whole, you'll chew your fingers off. Yeah, if you're doing bath salts or some fucking crazy,
Yeah.
But what's the difference? Even Quetting pointed out, or whatever, not even Quetting, but Quetting pointed out in his Herbalica, whatever. He understood when, I might have said it. It's just like when you're shopping for food. Shop around the edges. Get the real stuff. Don't get the processed crap. There's a difference between like LSD on a stamp and ayahuasca. There's a difference between DMT or whatever from a salvia plant and like cocaine that's been so processed. There's a difference between cocaine leaves and cocaine powder. There's a difference. There's a difference in its energy and its purpose. The medicine of the plant is still there. It hasn't been ruined and turned into something it's not. Mm-hmm. You need those poisonous elements within them. Even, I would argue, like with ayahuasca, has that element that does fuck your body up. You're gonna get diarrhea. You're gonna be all fucked up.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah. For days, man. For days. But you purge. That's part of the purge, though, too.
I think so. I've never done it, but I'm fully.
Oh man, dude! I tell you, It's so awesome. Like ever since I've been doing that, like my body has been changing, and like I've been like getting stronger and leaner and fucking like more vital, and just like the foods that I want to eat are like nothing but like non-processed whole fucking foods, and it's just like a natural thing. It's not anything I think about. Like it's all I want. It's all
that's like
dirt, dude. Just like put me in the fucking dirt.
Put me in the dirt.
All around it.
Man. Dude, that's so Castaneda. Like that's why I cut you off, because I'm like, no, you're fucking invoking Castaneda right now, because that's what was the Don Juan, the Yaqui Way, that book that we both talked about last night. Like that was so what it is. You've got to identify that living thing that you're taking. It's not just chemical medicine. It's a spirit you're taking into yourself.
Yeah.
And like you said, you want to be planted in the dirt. Like you exchange that place in a way. Like you recognize that you are a kind of seed. You are a kind of,
definitely.
It's, oh man, hell yeah.
During one of my last ceremonies, I mean, I was in the dirt and I was rubbing it in my hair and all over my face and all, I was like, like in Predator, when he like covered himself in mud. That's how I was. And I felt so fucking alive, so like connected to the fucking earth. And like for the first time, it was just like, yes, like this is who I am. Yes, yes. Like it's so fucking good, dude. It is so good. I just like I'm totally in love with Mother Aya and her fucking current and her fucking healing medicine. Like I'm going again. I spent $5,000 on this shit in the last fucking 2 months, man.
Wow.
Like that's how good it is, man. And like I don't give a fuck, like it's just money, but like it's so worth it to me. If it was 10 grand, fuck it, like it's for the benefit that you get from it. You cannot put a price tag on it. Like, it has made me like so much more spiritual. My life has changed in every fucking way. And I really owe a lot of it to her, and she just keeps calling me back and calling me back.
I'm hereby giving you a new title. If I was king, you would know you're not a black magician. You're a fucking black shaman. You're a dark shaman. That's what you are. You're not fucking around with like, it's almost like a bad fit for you to call you like what I do, right? You're that badass. You're that fucking shaman that, people seek out, and you're like, you're going to see some scary shit, but we're going to fix you right up. That's what I feel like. Maybe that's who you were. Maybe you were that scary shaman that they went to like, you know, to fucking find out the deepest, darkest parts of themselves. I feel like maybe that's what you were.
Like lick the palm of my hand, motherfucker.
Yeah, that
Do
motherfucker from like
this.
Vikings and shit. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so fucking. Do me a favor. You're not a black. You can do whatever you want. But if I swear, like black shaman, dark, something like that. I'm a dark shaman.
I resonate with that, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so fucking much, you know. And like the more that I'm exploring that, and the more that I'm immersing myself into that, that I do feel like that is now I'm understanding who I am.
That's beautiful, dude. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I hope I'm here to see that transformation. That's beautiful.
Yes, you will be, dude.
Oh
You
man,
will
that's
be.
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Because I'll be
dude.
coming to you like, look, you know, I'm a babe in the woods with this chemical stuff. You know, I trust you to give me a chicken, but can I trust you to fucking babysit my ass? My 220-pound muscular motherfucking ass as
Oh,
I'm
definitely.
rampaging around, fucking fighting spirits and shit. You know?
Because that's why I want to move to Orlando, because I want to volunteer at Soul Quest and be that, you know, be
Yeah.
that person that is like assisting the everybody through their journey
Oh,
and
that's
holding
beautiful.
space for them. You know, the people that do that for me when I'm going through my journey, like they're the most beautiful fucking souls that you could ever fucking imagine. And that's what I feel like that's part of my life purpose, you know, like I want people to experience this, and I want to like assist them with it. I want to help them through their, you know, that journey into the darkest fucking recesses of their fucking mind and psyche, and to help them fucking make their way through it and fucking like come out on the other side. Like that's the most fulfilling shit to me fucking ever.
Well, I mean, it's how do I put this? It's I can understand it because I'm the same way, just in a different way. Like I would do, you know, hypnotic stuff. I would do all the non-chemical versions of what you're describing to me. Like that's why I get into that rant. Some kind of spirit comes over me. It's not like my know-it-all self. Some spirit comes over me. He's like, let's educate them. Let's do this. Let's rant now. And I go into that, and I'm looking for. I'm checking the chat. I'm watching you. I'm feeling like that. I feel like I've got like people with like a collar on. Like, come on this way, motherfuckers. I want to show you to the good watering hole. I feel like that guy, you know. And it's like a weird feeling. And you know, on a personal level, you know, when I do that individually in person, which is very rare, especially these days, I have nobody to do that with, to be honest. It makes my heart sing when I feel like I've facilitated their awakening on some level.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Well,
now
that's your job, man. I mean, that is your fucking call, and you know, that's your life's purpose. I feel like is like exactly that, dude. You know.
maybe, but it also gives me somebody to talk to because it's a lonely place to see the world through the eyes of what we do.
Yeah.
It's a lonely place. Like I didn't realize that other people don't see a lot of the things that I see. Like everybody daydreams, but I'll daydream about spirits and ghosts and demons and shit while we're, you know, and I'll have community contact. I'll talk to them. I'll visualize the future and I'll feel like I see things. And everyone does this, but I think this is the thing. Maybe that's what's not special about me. Everybody does what I do. It's just I'm aware that I'm doing it.
Not really. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are trying to, you know,
Okay.
and they're trying to, and they're playing at it, and they're doing it in a disingenuous way in many cases, and you can see it, you know, and you can feel it, and you can definitely identify that very fucking easily. But I think that that's what this world needs, you know, like there's so many people that are in need of that. And we all have our own calling. We all have our own positions and things, and we all have our own unique qualities and abilities and shit. And it's like once you realize that that's your calling, like at least for me, there's nothing more important. It cannot be fucking denied. You know, if you try to fucking deny it, your life is going to be fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
this part is like having to like detach from who you used to be, and even like leave your fucking family fucking behind in many cases, and just try
And
to
what does
explain
every spiritual seeker have to do for a while? Like we found that out the hard way. Like we felt like we lost everybody or we left them.
Mhm.
But what is like in the Orient? What are they making? You know, shave your head, you go to the temple, and you leave your life behind for a while you're doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude, that's you know it's a great epiphany too to like see that and go.
I mean, I had to do that, you know. I had to leave my ex-wife and my fucking 3 daughters, you know. I had to fucking make a new life for myself without them, you know? I mean, I'm still a big part of their lives, don't get me wrong, and I feel like I'm an excellent father, but like, do I spend every waking moment with them? And am I there when they go to bed? Am I there when they wake up? No, I'm not, you know, but like, I make sure that like my presence in their lives are, it's very special and it's very beautiful, and they finally see it for what it is, and they finally appreciate it, and they finally accept it that like, yeah, dad has this big purpose, and like he's got to fucking do it. We can't hold him back from it. We can't pull him back to like who he used to be, because that's just going to make him fucking want to kill himself and make him depressed and shit. Like, we got to like let him go. We got to let him do what he's got to do. And, you know, I have so much gratitude for them for accepting it, you know, because I had to fucking accept it. They have to fucking accept it too. Like, and that was the hardest fucking thing in the world for me to ever have to do, was to like leave that fucking life, even though I was miserable, because I felt like I wasn't even like in my own fucking skin living that life. That was the biggest sacrifice for me. Like, that was a sacrifice I had to fucking make.
Right, and that's what I was talking about before with that cliff and jumping off, that you're sacrificing yourself to yourself. You're sacrificing that old you for the new you. I mean, and that's kind of what I did in the last, 5 years gradually, and then the last 2 years strongly. You know, I said goodbye to all my old friends. I said goodbye to all my old hang-ups. And once I was alone and I accepted my life as it was, I sacrificed the desire to be anything else. And all of those sacrifices, in that sense, allowed me to reinvent who I am, to be who I've always been. You know? And
I mean, and that's the most, that's more beneficial to this world as a whole and to yourself than any fucking thing else. Like, do they want you to like really sacrifice who you are and to like sacrifice your fucking happiness and like not allow you to be the best version of yourself just so that you can be there, just so you can be there and be fucking miserable, and it's just like, no, like, if they love you, then they're going to want you to be happy. They're going to want you to live your life's purpose and, let you live your true will, and like, and that's hard to accept, like, just in my recent situation, it's like, I got to know that's the true will. That's the true will. Whether I fucking like it or not, that's what it fucking is.
Yeah, I like that. Whether I like, because that's your ego talking. That's the ego's what likes things and doesn't like things, but it's you that is will. You are will. You are free will. You are causality, making all of these things what they are. And
let me get a cartridge real quick.
Sure, dude.
I'm just in 2 seconds.
Sure.
I'm a tobacco fucking.
I see that. I'm gonna have to do a spell and stop. I'm just kidding. You do what you gotta do.
It's gonna happen.
No, dude, enjoy it while you can, man. I quit that shit 12 plus years ago.
This is my only.
Your vice?
This is my only remaining fucking vice, dude. And like, it's just,
No guilt. Own that shit. This is what I am. And when you decide to change, that's it.
Where is it? God
Someone's saying I knocked over their bookshelf with a wave of my hand on the video. That's pretty weird.
Oh, God damn it, weird.
No, don't banish anything. Don't banish anything. Stop. Don't banish.
I'm not bashing it.
No, not you. Someone in the chat. Tree Marie said, summon Marbus today. Have yet to banish. Banish is the wrong word. License to depart is okay. Like a friend over your house, do you just be like, get the fuck out now? No, you would not do that. You wouldn't be like, get the fuck out of my house. You'd be like, listen, I'm going to go to bed soon. Would you mind giving me some privacy? Do not banish a goddamn thing. Politely tell them what you're going to do. You say, I always, if you watch my videos, my usual banishing routine, because it's not a banishment, but my usual exit strategy is to say, listen, I invite you to stay with me for as long as you wish, but I need to have my own time now. I welcome you to stay, and I will listen for any messages that are important. Spend some time with me. Give me your gnosis. Give me your energy. Otherwise, you don't want to leave them hanging. Like, you don't want to pick up the phone and like not say goodbye, but you don't want to be like, okay, fuck you, and hang up the phone. So, I don't like banishing. I don't like that word. I don't like that word banish. It's too harsh. You can banish negative intentions in your environment, sure, but don't banish entities. Don't banish entities. Honestly, even the threatening ones, I don't banish. I do battle. I fucking face them. I incorporate them. I integrate them if I can. And if I can't, then I take a step back. So banishing, bad, naughty monkey. Especially if you're on the left-hand path, naughty monkey. Try to integrate that fucking shit, no matter how dark or bad it might feel. So I don't know if you caught all that, JD. You might have a different opinion.
I heard something about banishing.
Yeah, someone was saying that they invoked Marbus today and they didn't banish him, and it was Tree Marie. And then someone, Dice, said, hurry up and banish them then, because she's having things happen. And I'm like, don't banish any of these like entities that are like that. I mean, even negative ones, I don't banish.
I don't do much banishing at all.
No.
I did, sometimes I will do like a banishing or like exorcism, right? If I do feel that there are like parasitic energies that have latched onto me that I need to remove from me that are not really doing anything beneficial. But spirits that I have like deliberately called forth, I'm not really doing any type of banishing rituals and shit after that. Because in a lot of cases it takes time to integrate those energies, and it takes time for them to do what they need to do. And I don't want to nullify everything that I just did ritual by doing that.
Right. And I mean, what's the meaning of the word banish? It means there's different ways you can put it. They're leaving your presence one way or the other, leaving your awareness. Well, that's not good either. You can banish something out of your awareness and it's still influencing your life and your experience. So banishing, I don't like as a term, just in general. What you said about removing a psychic parasite, that's different. If I have a psychic parasite latched onto me, I'll actually pull those fuckers out of my energy body. I'll tie them in a knot. I'll piss in them. I'll piss in the tentacles. I'll fucking, anything symbolic to fucking destroy them. The worst thing I'll do, literally, is I will pull it out, see it as a tentacle, know it's like a hole, and I'll fucking shout a curse into that fucker, tie it up, and just fling it away, so that it's good, returning to them. But that's just my goofy way of doing things. No, because so what I was saying is don't, especially a loving spirit, a good spirit. Like Marbas is Bast from Egypt, guys. It's not a demon. It's a beautiful healing goddess that is badass as all fuck. You got to respect that shit. Would you banish Bast? Would you banish Astarte? Would you banish? No, you fucking wouldn't. You would be like, please stay for as long as you wish. But someone did point out, and I said the same thing. Absolutely, say, this is my time now. I need to focus on the real world. Would you mind giving me my space now? You can politely ask them to leave.
That's a good point right there. That's a really good point right there, because I usually will respect that.
Yeah.
If they're being too intense, if their energy's too intense and they're coming on too strong, if you just ask them to kind of like back off a little bit politely, then they will.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like any decent person would. I need my space a little bit. Okay.
That's exactly how I put it. Like, would I kick you out of my house? I mean, maybe if we're so close as friends, I'd jokingly be like, listen, motherfucker, I got to go to bed.
Yeah.
But I would not, with intention, be like, you are banished from my house for now. No way, dude. No, that's not how I roll. That's not how I do things. I mean, I hate to do it when I do it, but it's like, that's not how I am, And so I know what they were getting at, because Dice Controller.
Is that your bird?
Yeah, that's my bird. Yeah, he's still up.
Wow.
I should probably close him up.
No, that's beautiful.
I got too many pets, man. I got too many pets. I got dog. I got 2 snakes. I got a bird. We had a fuck ton of fish. Not really.
What
I got
kind
2
of bird
beautiful
is
fish.
that? Like a
cockatiel.
Cockatiel. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd bring him over, but he gets a little flighty.
He sounds happy.
What's that?
He sounds really happy.
He wants to go to bed, and I think my wife went in the bedroom, so he's like, "Where's everybody?" So he's low.
He's like woohoo.
He wants to be covered up. That's
Oh.
He's like, put me to sleep, guys. It's too fucking. It's late. You guys, I had one make it to almost 30 years old. Cockatiel's living to like past 15 is impressive. He made it almost to 30, and he was like so old, like his legs didn't work anymore. Like he just was like, and like he was just a bitchy, crabby fucker for the last 20 years of his life. Like I couldn't get him to come out and sit on my hand anymore. I couldn't talk to him. He just and I think it was because I didn't know better. I had him in the wrong kind of cage. It was a circular cage. That's supposed to make him a little crazy. This bird's a sweetheart. I mean, he comes out and I pet him and we play with him and I take him in the shower with me and I spray him down. And he's great, man. He's fucking great. He's not going to go crazy like the other one did, but you know.
Come here.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I'm an animal person. Like I can't explain it. Like I love animals. I go out and I talk to my animals wherever I go. So someone had asked, do you banish before rituals? I'm iffy on that word too. Like one of the things that made some people like me was because I said I don't banish energies beforehand either. And I mean that. I don't believe in, how do I put this? If you're new, I suppose, and you're prone to being attacked by parasitic entities in your environment, it might be a good idea to cleanse your space because you don't know what to do if something weird happens, right? Okay, we can say that. But what I'm doing, what I said to you earlier was true. If a dark entity is in my environment already, and I'm not aware of it, I need to integrate that son of a bitch. I need to bring that thing in, and I need to either show it who's boss, like on a personal level, or I hate to sound like a tough guy, but that's what I mean. You're the god of your world. You need to act like it. You can't be like, please leave, you're hurting me. No, you go, motherfucker, what are you doing here? I didn't invite you. Yeah. You have to have that attitude, not get away. You're going to fucking do what I want. You have to have that kind of mentality a little bit, and you don't even need to be nasty. Okay, I'm just showing it that way as like in your own spiritual core, you need to be assertive with the spirit world.
Yeah.
The goetic spirits in particular, if you go to them on your hands and please serve me, please do what I want, they're going to bitch slap you all the way across the spectrum of the astral realm. They're going to get you in every color, dude. But if you go to them and you boss them around like a dick, they're going to be like, all right, we got you figured out too. And they're gonna fuck you with you too.
Yeah, but if we're gonna make you less of a dick by being an asshole to you. We're gonna humble you.
We're gonna humble you. But if you go to them as you are a king, not even commanding, but I use the word command, with your own authority as king, commanding them to act in their own will. In other words, make it worth their while. You say, this is what I want. You want this too, right? Go do it. And
there is one thing that I do, like before a lot of rituals that I do on the front end, is that I will ask any spirits that are not an active participant in this ritual to please step aside and give us the space that we need and the respect that we need to do what we need to do, because they're not a part of this. And I ask them to just to step back a little bit for a moment.
It's a good way to put it, yeah. And William says Belial wants firm and direct, and they all want that, except for Lilith. That's the only exception I've found so far. Lilith does not like firm and direct. She does not want you to be bossy. She prefers...
those two spirits do not mix. I found that out. Belial and Lilith don't ever...
Really? I did not know that. I will have to... Okay.
Oh my God, dude. I fucking found that shit out the hard fucking way. God damn, motherfucker.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't ever do that. Don't ever fucking do that.
Okay, because I don't work with Belial that much. Belial's more your guy. Yeah, I have my own group of spirits that I work with the most.
Don't bring her. Do not bring her.
Okay.
No, he will totally possess you and take control of you and show you how powerful he is and make a fool out of your ass. Yeah.
Oh, I almost want to do it now. I'm one of those guys. I'm an asshole.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. Oh my God, Nina probably remembers that shit. I'm actually going to make a video on that and I'm going to condense it because it was a 5-hour live stream. He made me pass out on a live stream on the floor all like this for like fucking 4 hours straight because of Lilith. And like he was like, what, did she dress you in those fucking clothes and all this shit? Like, it was really embarrassing. And like, there was nothing I could fucking do. He got me so quick. I did not even see it coming, and there was nothing I could do to resist it. Like, it was really, he asserted his power like a motherfucker. And like, it was crazy. It was a really spiritual experience, but like, it was like I was blacked out drunk. Like, I don't remember it, but I want to like condense that into like the best parts and do a video of like, here's what happened. I'm going to do that soon. So yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd be interested in watching that. I mean, I haven't had that kind of, when I was younger, I had a lot of possessions, and they were almost always under my will, if that makes sense. I was possessed, but I was still there, and I still had override capability. But once or twice, I blacked out, and I don't know. I woke up like the next day with vague recollections of things, like half memories. And people were like, "Do you remember tossing that kid like a rag doll with one hand?" No, I don't remember doing that. Well, you did. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Why did I do that?" Well, he saw something in him that he didn't like, and that's what happened. Okay, so. Yeah, but that was Ronziel mostly, almost entirely, but yeah,
he feels like it's disrespectful, like if you bring another spirit with you as kind of like your sidecar or whatever, he's just like, what are you doing? Like, you need to come to me. You need to come to me.
I would agree with that. Definitely that feeling. Like if you watch that video that I did, that was he commands you to command him, and I do get that he wants to be the one. Yeah, I get that feeling. I get that a little bit. I could see why because I know with Asmodee, he gets a little, not jealous, but jealous. He also doesn't like, I don't think, to be invoked with a bunch of other things. He likes to come to you with his little harem of sexual energy that he brings with him. And, not that he won't let you bring others around, but I feel like if you're working with him, he wants you to work with him while you're working with him and not somebody else at the same time. I do feel that with him too, because he does have that jealousy aspect to him, even in his story, in his mythology. So, I feel like a similar thing. But now that you're mentioning it, Belial I've only worked with a little bit. Belial's like, yeah, I've worked with Belial. I'm good. I don't really feel like working with Belial a lot. But
he's pretty fucking awesome. I'll tell you that. Like, he's probably the most impactful spirit in my life that I've ever had. Like, he flooded my house, and it did like $100,000 worth of damage, dude. But like, my company, I do that for a living. I made like 40 grand off of it, plus my whole house got remodeled and decorated. The best fucking finishes you could ever imagine.
Really?
Couldn't live in it for like 8 months, but like, he told me, he was like, you need to leave town for 4 days and don't come back for fucking days. And I was like, okay. I did that. I came back, and my whole house, 2 stories fucking flooded the fuck out so goddamn bad. Like, everything was fucked, but like, I made out on it like a fucking man. It was like,
I think I figured out a way to get us to hang out. I'm gonna, if you're as handy as you sound, one of the houses I'm looking at is 1,400 square foot of it is unfinished, and I could
dude, I can wire that shit and do whatever you want, dude. Yeah, because I'm a journeyman electrician too.
Fuck yeah, man. Maybe I'll hire you for that, because that'll give me an excuse to bring you up here.
Yeah, dude, I'll just do it for you, dude.
Dude, I'd pay you for that. It would need a lot of work, man.
Easy as fuck.
No, it would need a lot of work, because they started in 2005 and they didn't finish it, so it's been exposed. Like, they didn't put the fucking siding on it in some spots. It's been exposed. The wiring, a lot of it looks like it's in, but I don't know. I have to go in and look. But hell yeah, that would be a great excuse.
Let you know what's up. Yeah, that's my shit, man. Yeah,
that'd be a great excuse to get your ass up here, because I'd be like, here, you can fucking live in the place while I'm not moving in yet. You fucking live in the small part and fucking.
Well, I've got freedom now, baby. I can do whatever the fuck I want to.
It would be like fall winter time. So I'll keep you in mind. If you don't mind traveling for
time of the year.
Especially up there, dude. Up there, it's beautiful in the fall and the winter, man. It's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
So fuck yeah, maybe that'll be how it happens. That might be how it goes down, because cool. I mean, if you can do that kind of if you can do that kind of estimate and inspection and construction shit, like
dude, that's my forte, soneth. Yeah.
All right, honey, write his name down in case we forget.
No, I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like, it ain't shit. Like, in my fucking sleep,
Yeah, Dices has a question. Everybody wants it answered. What would you do with an unruly ghost? And he said me, but I think he wants all of us. Let's put that with everybody. What would you do with an unruly ghost? And someone pointed out with a good answer that ghost is maybe a problematic word in some ways, because I think that's almost a Hollywood word by comparison to what you can still use. You can still use it though. It's still interchangeable with spirit to me.
I mean, I feel like you got to find out what it is that it needs, and you need to like try to facilitate whatever you can to try to help it out. Because I feel like that's usually, they have some kind of fucking issue that they can't resolve on their own, and they need some kind of assistance, and whatever you can do to provide that.
Because it's like, if it's a ghost, right? If it is a human, right, or an entity it's really the egregore. Okay, let's be clear. The person is gone. Okay, the person is gone. The body died, and what is left is the story they told of who they are. That's what's left, and that story is animated by a conscious spirit or by the intention of people in the space. Okay, it's animated by that. So what it's there for, it usually has something to do with its story. It's feeling of unfinished business. Yeah, like all the Hollywood movies say, that's sometimes definitely it. I found that just respecting their presence is more than enough 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, when they show up and they talk to you, like they knock shit over, treat that as communication, not as a violent act.
Mm-hmm.
Treat that as, please pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And instead of going, oh my God, what was that? Go, spirit, hello, who's here? And show it attention.
Yeah.
Give it your attention. And this is exactly the opposite of what like a Christian mystic would tell you. They'd be like, no, you gotta banish, and you gotta, blah, 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 blah. Treat that thing with reverence. It is
love and respect, man. Love and respect goes so fucking far with everything.
Yeah. But at the same time, own your space at the same time. You gotta do both.
Yeah, if it comes to that, yeah.
You gotta own. So I've told ghost stories on this channel before. But you gotta be very, open to them having their space too, and being part of your awareness. And yeah, I wouldn't, especially if it's happening during ritual. You're getting poltergeist activity. Treat that as part of the ritual, man. Don't run. You better grow those brass balls and stand your ground. And
definitely.
Show up.
Yeah. Like who is the biggest baddest motherfucker in the room? I am, motherfucker. And I will fucking show you if you fucking make me. Like yeah.
And if you do happen to get tit slapped by Belial in the process, well, enjoy the ride, because that's probably what you needed.
Yeah.
So, all right, dude, I think I got to get some food in me, just like last night. We got to get this going on the road, but I would love to have you on like every week, dude. Well, I'll have you on.
Dude, I would fucking love that, man. I would fucking love that shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, let's maybe we'll do it right again next week, exactly the same time, but dude, I love you like a brother already. I've only known you for a few days, man. It's fucking,
yes.
We'll fucking get this shit going, and you're bringing out the Long Island in me. You're hearing like, we'll fucking get it going. You know what I'm saying? I'll fucking put you in the back of my van, motherfucker. We'll go up to fucking the Palisades, and we'll off Johnny the Tuba and Vinny the Vinny and whatever his fucking name is, and we'll do this shit,
Get
twice.
That cheese whiz, man. Get that whiz.
All right, guys. So let's do this. Let's give you guys, if you got any more last-minute emergency questions or comments, I'm going to give you guys like 5 more minutes. We'll do it like this. 3:30. We've been on the phone for 3:22. We'll do it. We got 8 more minutes. We'll give you guys 8 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to wrap up with our bullshit, like how we can find each other and whatnot. So let's start with you. Everybody knows who I am. JD, how do people find you? How do people find? I should have asked this early on in the night, but how do people find you? How do they, if they want your help?
Yeah. My YouTube channel is From the Light of the Darkness, so you can find me there. And my email and my website both are jdtemple.info. So you can find me there. I'm not on Facebook because I don't participate in that.
I'm going to trick you onto that with an alt. I'm not going to tell anybody who it is. I'll be like, here, make it like a cat will be your alt photograph. Nobody will know it's you. And we'll just just so you can see the shenaniganery that goes on, man. It's fine.
You have a messenger. Well, and it's JD Sunnith, like SONNITH, because I call people like Sunnith all the time, but like I don't know. I just can't do Facebook. There's too many things out there that I don't want to see, especially like right now. Like
I feel that.
Want to see that shit, but
you've got a double dimension to it. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel both of them. I feel my own version of that, and I feel your version of that too.
Oh, my version of it's so fucking like, fucking like, god damn, I'm just gonna puke everywhere. But fucking like, I just can't. I don't know. Someday I will, but Facebook I've become obsessed with it, and it just drives me into the fucking dirt. I can't balance Facebook, really. I'm not one of those people that can like balance it properly. So I just, I have a lot of growing to do before I can come back to that. But
that's why I just focus on my profile and I don't fuck with anybody else's, But I feel you, dude. Facebook is like my big demon of fucking social. Oh, Johan is, dude, I love this dude. You see what he fucking did? Look at what he did. Also, while I'm scrolling this up for you, where can you have a website now too, right? A blog? Or is that JD Temple? What was your website again for your
Oh
blog?
yeah. What you want to type it in?
Oh, we could do that. Yeah. You could type it in. But
Okay.
then when you get a second, Johan, my brother, I love this guy
I don't
so
know
much.
how to. Oh, I can't. I don't think I can. But it's just jdtemple.info.
Oh, that's for the website too. Okay.
The
All right. Cool.
website and the email is both. Yeah,
Oh,
jdtemple.
okay. All right. I feel stupid now. So Johan gave us a beautiful donation. You shouldn't have done that, brother. But you're so generous and sweet, man. This guy's awesome.
Oh my God.
You're probably gonna meet him at some point.
Fuck yeah.
You're probably gonna meet him because he's fucking awesome. He's trying to he wants to be involved in some of the stuff I'm doing. He's a fucking awesome guy.
Yeah.
There's some question by Dice for you about Santa Muerte.
Dice controller 187. Yeah.
Do you see the question, or you want me to read it off?
Yeah, no, I see it. Yeah. So with Santa Muerte, like, you just have to have love and respect. Love and respect, and everything that you go to her with has to be right and fucking just. You can't go to her with some fucked up shit that is not right and just, or she'll fuck you up. You just have to be of like pure heart and pure intention and love and respect her. And she here lately has been integral part of my spiritual path here lately. Like, it's something that I really actually did not care for her too much at all. Like, I actually did not like her at all. And ever since everything has happened with me in my life, and I'm here by myself, and there's no other energies here but me, I have like fully embraced her, and she has been so fucking good to me. And it's because my intentions are pure. What I am asking her for is right and just, and she fucking delivers, man. I will tell you that right now. She is fucking amazing. Awesome. And I keep jar candles burning on her altar 24/7. Like, even when I'm asleep, I feel safe. I'm not worrying about my house burning down. And like, I give her fresh water every fucking day. I, say good morning to her every fucking day, and I kiss her fucking idol every fucking day.
Wow, yeah.
I am really just like so sweet and loving and caring to her, and she reciprocates that to me.
It's almost like the Buddhist meditation where you visualize and contemplate your death fully, and you embrace all the features of it, even the most disgusting and terrifying parts. Visualize yourself going through that windshield, fucking feel the pavement hit you in the jaw, breaking your jaw, hear the cracking sound, see your lover get smeared on the pavement next to you. I mean, it's the most morbid, fucked up thing you can imagine. And some people say, no, you're going to bring it to you. No, you're not. That's not how this whole law of attraction shit is just, it's magic without a wand. It's not really that. You have to do that with intention to make that work. All right, let's start there. But visualize that death experience so that it becomes your friend, so that you're not afraid of that moment if it happens.
Yeah.
And some days I'm great at it. Some days I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking care. Death is nothing. Then other days I look at my dog or my wife or my kid and I go, I don't want to do that. So I still got some work to do, but I don't know anything about Santa Muerte, but I would say my own recollections and understanding of death current, you got to make that your friend, because they're going to come to you. And from my understanding of that, like, I feel it right now. I feel like a warm tingle, not a cold tingle.
Yeah,
it's a cold tingle.
It's beautiful, dude. It's bliss. It's fucking
feel
bliss.
that tingle, and it's telling me, like, don't be afraid of me. I'm coming for everybody. Yeah. And it may hurt, but I'm going to nurture you through it. And it is a mother.
She's gonna deliver you.
She's gonna deliver you. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I'm gonna take you in my arms and take you to the next world. Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. She will be at the river fucking Styx to fucking help you to fucking move.
Oh man, you should. I don't know if you can see that. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, something's here. Something's here. Oh, goose pimple.
Hey.
Something's here. Oof.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, maybe that's an unlock I need to unlock another achievement, honey. I got to work with Santa Muerte now.
She's beautiful, dude. Yeah. She is so fucking beautiful, man. Like, I highly recommend it so fucking
much. I've
been
drawn to like hell from the Norse, and I've also been drawn to from Sumerian. Oh. Come on, brain. You got so much crap in there. Rattle it around. Find it. What's the god? Somebody. Patchwork.
I mean, like Mott or something too. You know, in a sense.
Patchwork. You know the Sumerian current way better than I do, brother. I know you do. Who's the goddess of the underworld in Sumeria? Who's the goddess of the afterlife? Who the fuck is it? Or the god and goddess? You know, who are the ones? Oh my gosh. Oh shit, I can't remember.
I don't know.
Is it Inanna? Shit. Is that it? Maybe it's Inanna. I gotta look. Because I don't do the Sumerian stuff like other people do. I really want to. Well, anyway, if Patchwork is still here, he'll comment with it. But yeah, okay, it's leaving now. I feel back to normal. Something walked through me just now. All right, so yeah. So definitely, guys, check out his services. I experienced the one last night. You definitely want to be actively a part of these things. You know, when someone does a ritual for you, don't just sit back and wait. I recommend personally, if anyone ever does a ritual for me, I want to be there, if that makes sense. I want to do something on my end. I always ask, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to light incense? Do you want me to meditate? Do you want me to do? Thank you, Dice. It is Inanna. Okay. I want to be connected to that ritual energy while you're doing it somehow. And then when I watch the video, that's the sigil being broken open and releasing that energy, right? So contact my brother over here. He will, I'm sure you got so much. I've seen some of the ones you got on there. And, you know, the one you did for me, I felt it that night. And I want to thank also J.S. Garrett for writing that.
Hey, I was going to say, can we plug his website too? Is jsgarrett.com. So J.S. Garrett is JS and then GARRETT.com. You can get the right Deification from him through that site. And he is an awesome motherfucker. And I know that you and him, that's the proper way to say it, will hit
y'all. You're Southern enough. You could say y'all. Y'all would hit it off.
Y'all would hit it off like a motherfucker, because he is, you know, he is one of the most important people in my fucking life. I fucking love him so much. I would fucking kill somebody for that motherfucker if I had to. He is really amazing. He is amazing, and check his website out, jsgarrett.com. Fucking awesome, and I can't wait for y'all to get together, because y'all will be the shit.
When that happens, it'll be when it's time to happen, dude. I'd be open to it when it's time. I like meeting people one at a time at first, and then getting together. You know, I could just be like, hey, let's meet everybody today. I like to be intimate and get to know people a little bit.
Hell yeah.
And so when he's ready, when I'm ready, I'm definitely down. You know. That's all. I guess that's more on your end to me.
Put some shit out there, so it's gonna happen.
It'll happen. It'll happen sooner or later. Yeah. I mean, I respect the man. I've seen what he's done with EA, and I don't know. It's not even about that. It's just he's got good energy coming off him, from what I can tell, and I'd like to meet him too. So.
Oh, he is, dude. He is such a loving fucking soul, you know. But he's the last motherfucker that you would ever want to have, you know. Necessary too, you know.
That's usually the case, though, isn't it? I mean, the mother bear is the most loving creature in the woods, right? Until you fucking get between her and her cubs, and then she'll eat your face while she's, you know, like eating your face. I can't put it any other way.
Yeah. While she's like skull effing you.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. So all right, man. What time is it here? I know we're the same time zone. Right?
About 2 a.m.
Fuck that, I gotta eat, and my wife wants to go for a walk, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to any of that.
Wow, man, you better do it. You better do what she needs you to do, man. Shit, that's number one right there.
Oh, don't tell her that. Okay. Don't hit me! I felt the shoe. She's laughing.
You can't deny the truth, son.
All right, my beautiful brother, I love you very much, and let's talk tomorrow or something. Like, fucking just email me, hit me up, whatever you got in your mind.
I will.
You know, and as I get this other thing put together that I keep hinting at, you know, I will fill you in on more and more of the details. And I think you, me, and some, like 2 or 3 other people that I have in mind, I'd like to get together and just talk out what I have in mind, feel out what we want to do, and maybe we'll do something. I mean, if not, that don't fucking matter. We're still friends. It's all good.
That, dude. So. Yeah. Well, I'm flying to Florida again tomorrow, so I'll be gone all weekend. But
all right, you're gonna be flying with
Florida again next weekend. But yeah.
You're gonna be with Mother Aya.
Next weekend I'll be with Mother Aya. But
okay.
This weekend I'm just going for pleasure to meet this amazing woman, so I'm gonna do that. And
All right. Well,
I'm gonna relish every
shit. Yeah, man. You know, say the word, and maybe I'll throw something with Dantalion together for you if you want, or I mean, if you prefer Beleth or something like that too, that would also work. So, you know, let me know, dude. I'll see what I can do. If I got the time to do it in advance, because I don't want to do it like you're already done.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So, all right, brother. So I'll talk to you soon, if not tomorrow. Okay. And, you know, all right, guys. Don't forget me. You know who I am. Go into the description of this video. There's links to all my books. There's links to Patreon. There's links to Teespring. Buy my shit. Fucking love my books like I love when you guys love my books. I'm just kidding. Check out my books. Become the Maelstrom of Shadownomicon. I'm very proud of. And of course, go to www.mindtheshadows.com. That is where my blog and all my other crap is. And I add to that relatively frequently now. So, especially if you like some of my off-the-wall political ideas, I do occasionally espouse on there as well. And then there's BitChute, because fuck YouTube and their censorship and China and everything else. Fuck all them. Go to BitChute, because now they won't fuck me in the ass in BitChute, because I can say whatever I want. Dude, did you know I had one of my ritual videos taken down by YouTube because of their censorship? Fuck that shit.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't even do anything. They just, I guess, because I said use malachite for healing or something. They're like, you know, oh, you're giving medical advice.
Oh my god.
I'm like, how many fucking malachite videos are on YouTube where they tell you to use it for healing? And mine is like bad because I said it. Well, whatever. It's because it was about COVID. They didn't like that. So it's on.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you need to watch that one, dude. I'm gonna send you the link tonight when you get the chance. Watch it.
Okay, I will.
It's kind of chilling. You probably go, holy shit! You saw all the same shit we did when we were talking about it. Yeah, you're gonna.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So all right, dude. So I'm gonna check you later. I'm one of those people I can't say goodbye, so I need some.
I know, me too. You gotta fucking pull the plug though.
Got it. Somebody pull the plug for honey. Come over here and hit the button. Like when I want to buy something expensive, I have her come over and click.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna kill you. I'm killing the stream. I'll talk to you for like 2 more minutes. Just hit that red button at the top. Goodbye. Oh shit, she's heartless. She's cold-blooded. Say hi to the dude, man. Hold on. Let me.